Wow! This is big news!
Hey everyone, this is Zach. I'm joined by my co-host Ed, as usual.
Hello.
We also have the Dream Team on with us to talk about some huge news. Joining us, first I'll introduce our translator team here. We got Steve and Paul, translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump.
That's me.
And we have Caleb, the translator for My Hero Academia and Weekly Shonen Jump.
Hey, everyone.
Wow.
And we have the Dream Team from Shonen Jump as well. We have Uriah Brown with us. How's it going, Uriah?
This is more like the Scream team, right?
Up to you what you want to call yourselves. We have Alexei Kirsch, associate editor. What's your full
He's
title?
lower than that. Coordinator.
Coordinator?
He's a coordinator.
Well, technically, it's associate managing
Managing
editor,
editor.
whatever. But
AME.
but it doesn't really mean anything.
It means something to me.
But I do edit One Piece, Black Clover, Promised Neverland,
Bits.
and the Chainsaw Man.
And the Chainsaw Man.
That's an exciting one. We could talk about
Well,
that one later.
they were just talking about that on Good Morning America.
Probably something else.
ABC's content has gotten interesting. We also have Jeff, frequent guest on our show as well. What's your official title at Viz, Jeff?
The definition.
Yeah, it's the definition. I think just software developer, but I help out on the Viz and Shonen Jump apps, and primarily the iOS app for this big, huge update.
You're kicking apps and taking names. Do you say that to people at parties?
Yeah. After I say the definition, yeah.
Definition.
I'm the
Kicking apps.
definition. I kick apps and take names. That's the full thing he says when he walks into a room. So this is going to be a normal episode with our whole group here.
Is it going to be normal?
It's going to be completely normal. I guess, Uriah, do you want to do the honors and tell us why you guys are here? The big announcement.
I think you know.
Well, I know, but people listening might not know.
Oh, the people listening don't know. Oh, Shonen Jump is it's a brand new Shonen Jump. We are evolving from the magazine style digital issue to and look at the people in this podcast getting out their cell phones, not even listening. These guys, come on! I try to
tune out your marketing spiel. It's got a little tiring.
I mean, to be fair, like the marketing spiel worked on us. We've been with you since Shonen Jump Alpha.
Thank you.
There you go.
Because what we're doing, and so we're just going to put the chapters up for free. The latest 3 chapters from Japan. The first comes out the same day as Japan, which will now be on Sunday afternoons. So it's truly simul. And we added a whole bunch new series, almost everything in their magazine, along with everything that was in our magazine that is no longer. So 3 chapters for free. Anybody can read within our territories, our numerous territories. But if you want to read a hell of a lot more Shonen Jump manga, you can become a member and get access to the
Digital Vault.
And that will give you almost the entire Shonen Jump back catalog of everything we've ever published in English, over 10,000 chapters.
Were you
for
the one
wicked cheap.
Did you have to count every chapter to
I
get
did.
to that 10,000 number?
And for how much per month, Alexi?
$1.99.
Which
That's
is
insane.
a ridiculous steal.
Yeah, so
I mean,
you
are we
guys.
crazy?
Jeff, do the math. How much per chapter
Wait,
is
That's
so
how much
per page.
$1.99 what?
Per page.
$1.99 Canadian dollars, gems,
Denny.
$1.99.
berries.
And it's an insane amount of manga. It's super cheap, and of course we're going to keep adding to it, so it will only grow from here as new chapters come out and get put into the vault. But the latest 3 are available for free to anybody within our territories. So America, United Kingdom, India, Philippines, Singapore. What else, Jeff? What am I forgetting?
There's
Canada.
U.S., Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Philippines,
South Africa.
India,
India.
South Africa. It's 10. It's 10.
Yep. And Mars.
Yeah, Mars.
Yeah, so if
Only
you were,
robot though.
there's at least 2 functioning robots there that will be enjoying Shonen Jump.
They're gonna pay. Make some money or collecting rocks or something. I don't know how they'll do it.
So we won't make you.
Huge deal. A big transition. It's the continuous evolution of the print magazine all the way to now. So we're really excited. We're literally not in a fake marketing way excited. Like someone says, I'm really excited about the new Sprite. We're literally excited.
I had no idea there was a new Sprite. This is shocking to me. So this news was legitimately shocking and amazing. I think I probably retweeted every single person's reaction to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we've been, big fans of you guys and One Piece and Shonen Jump, obviously, since you guys not just launching Alpha, but before that, I actually have some old Shonen Jump physical issues sitting in front of me. So it's just kind of amazing. You guys used to be a few days behind, then, less than 24 hours behind. And now you guys are not only just, exactly publishing at the same date, but you guys also are going to be free for how many titles are going to actually be in that free simulpub?
25, I think, around 25.
Now, can you name
The
those
numbers
all?
are.
It includes. No, I can't. But it includes some of the monthlies, for Yu-Gi-Oh! RP from V-Jump and some stuff from Jump Square. So it's, I think, around
It's
25.
between 25 and 30. I think it's getting close to 30.
Do the monthly titles come out the same time? Or does that magazine come out does that come out on...
We'll simul with monthlies.
There will be staggered releases, so not everything will come out like Sunday afternoon. Some things will come out on different times of the week.
For monthlies, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, but the stuff that is in that we get from the Japanese Shonen Jump will come out all at the same time on Sunday afternoon.
I think Stephen...
Sunday's the new Monday. Tell everybody.
I think, Stephen, we were discussing this earlier. I forget who mentioned this, actually, but I'll just steal the question. How are you guys going to alert people as to when a new chapter comes out?
We have a big siren on top of the building.
Right.
Huge siren.
Jeff, what's our notification strategy?
It just says new over and over.
Well, I'm going to take some methods from Neolation and hack into Twitter building above us. And
as part of the marketing team, I feel like I can answer this question. We did social medias, and we made some blog posts, and we made some videos. And so we have a multi-prong aggressive marketing campaign to tell people about it. Jeff, quit making that face like I'm stupid. I don't like that I'm stupid face. Why are you making that face? Explain yourself. Besides the fact that I am stupid, I get that, but
but there's going to be, you can follow a series on the website and you'll get notified via email when there are new chapters. And there are more advanced systems that we'd like to put into place down the road, but
Mindbeam.
Yeah.
So if you
the Mindbeam's a little way
push
off.
notifications, I'm guessing.
If you follow all Shonen Jump series on the website, you'll get 15 emails on Sunday afternoon.
That's the question.
They're batched up. Yeah.
That's
why I was giving you that face.
That's why. I was answering the wrong question. Good job. Thank you. We don't know.
So for now, if you go to the site, you can. I think it's called. You can star a series, and then you'll get email notifications batched. But those aren't simultaneous. Those will be a bit delayed. So I think following us on social media will be the most effective
Twitter,
way.
We're definitely on Sunday are going to email everybody who signed up to our newsletter and let them know new chapters are up. And also, I am creating a social media content strategy to figure out exactly how to tweet everybody. We'll probably have just a basic tweet like issues are up, come get it. And then probably some other chapter highlight tweets and stuff like that. So
I feel like things are going to change a lot over the next few months.
This
fine-tune.
This is new to us too. We plan the heck out of this.
You just found out about this, Urian?
Yeah, put all of our lives into this, especially some people. And
I just found out about Sunday. That changes my life as a developer because I thought it was, sometimes things happen on Monday when the issue comes out, and it's oh, surprise, it's Sunday, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Really?
The dumb face. No?
Yeah.
Guys, keep Jeff in the loop.
But yeah, I think push notifications are definitely something I want to add down the road, but they're not currently available.
We are developing systems for that.
Yeah, I think right now a good rule of thumb is just check every Sunday at noon Pacific time is generally a good rule. Unless it's a holiday, it might come out earlier. Because I saw, for example, the next One Piece chapter, I think it's off next week, so it's the following Friday. The 21st that it comes out?
That week is crazy because we'll get new chapters on Monday and then new chapters on Friday. That's 4 or 5 days.
I don't envy any of you guys for that. Yeah.
But you envy the translators though, right?
I mean, they could speak Japanese. Do you three have any questions? Ed, Caleb, Stephen?
Yeah, I had a question. Caleb, hi. People have been asking what's going to happen to the author comments at the end of Shonen Jump. Are those going to be available in any form?
Yes. Those will now be a blog that will come out the same day as the new chapters do. And I will build that, and Lexi will translate it, and we're going to put it up on shonenjump.com so you can read all of their various.
And that'll include the cover art of like the Japanese issue too?
The cover art is going to be sort of like a. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. So the cover art, that's something that like we baked into the design of this stuff across the website and the apps. So there will be like, I mean, you'll see it once you actually like, get the new stuff on the 17th, but the cover in some form will exist. We have a plan for that too. Yeah.
It's very hush hush.
On that kind of general topic, like how are you guys feeling about the just the end of the digital magazine package of putting together this 250 whatever page bundle and all of the editorial materials that go into that? Like, is it a weight off your shoulders, or do you feel sad, or how does it feel?
Well,
I feel a little bit sad because it kind of felt like an accomplishment each week when you would finish the issue. And, move on to the next issue. But that's kind of, changing now where we're working chapter per chapter. We're still doing the exact same work, but it's, you can't, I don't know, it's just a little different. But it's definitely exciting what we're doing with the new website and everything.
There were some technical limitations from having such a huge issue with processing. So I'm excited for potential of helping, like improving some other areas that were more difficult with having the giant issue.
Yeah, I'd actually seen some questions about that with regard to, like, I guess I don't use Comixology myself, but people seem to like the high quality images they get there. Will that be, with the smaller file size, would that affect the image quality?
So that's kind of a separate question. Comixology generally has higher quality images that we send out, and we don't have any plans currently for upping the image quality, but it's something that is a lot more possible with not the giant issue. So
one thing about the issue, I would say, as one door closes, another opens. So it's not ending; it's just changing.
I came in and I killed it. I just stacked it.
I know some people don't read the entire issue; they skip around. But I do hope people will continue to try to check out all the different chapters, not just read One Piece.
It's your duty as a fan. I feel like it's my duty. Even if I don't like the series, I read it. It's like eating my vegetables.
Yeah. No,
candies are the ones you like. Vegetables are the ones you don't like.
And I think, one of the great things about Shonen Jump is discovering new vegetables or sweets or whatever food you'd like. Like the Chainsaw Man you guys mentioned. Or, just that's not going to be, I guess, quite as easy in this new format. But how much, I guess you guys have probably finished or almost finished putting out the website. Do you know when that's actually launching, the new website?
It's going to be on 17th.
December 17th.
December 7th. Okay.
Yeah,
that was a more stupid question than I thought.
You should have seen Jeff's face. No, I think with the series, the thing about series you may not like, you don't know where it's going to go. There's some series I didn't like that much in the beginning, but eventually turned a different direction.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, this series got awesome, and then it stays awesome. So I kind of read them all and hope
it will be easy to read the different series. They're just there might not be the impulse read where you're flipping through it and something catches your eye and you're like, actually, I'm going to go back and read this.
I think it's easier to jump in now. Now you can go back and just start from chapter 1 on any.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's the biggest news, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Alexi. Sorry.
Yeah, if you the current system, it's kind of hard to go back. It's kind of a pain to grab a back issue from 3 months ago and go to the exact page and then go to the next one. But that will be super easy. So if you do miss, you're not reading a series for a couple months, and then your friend is like, "What? You haven't been reading? Chainsaw Man's awesome." You can easily, if you're subscribed, you can easily go back and binge read the last 20 chapters very easily. So that's a good new feature.
I mean, it's perfect. Since we are a One Piece podcast, we should probably talk about it a bit. I've tried to force friends and coworkers to read One Piece, and they'll watch the anime. I'm like, oh, you got to read the manga. But that gap between what's in the volumes and what's in Weekly Shonen Jump currently has often been, okay, you have to go to this issue, and find the page, basically. So this is kind of going to open, I think, probably new floodgates of potential new fans converting from the anime to the manga.
That's true. That if they've watched like the latest episode of the anime and then they find out that there's what would there be, like 30 to 40 additional chapters of the story there easily available.
You just you subscribe for $2
for $1.99 and
that's not much to become a member and get like all that access.
Not at all.
And then they might discover other great stuff too.
That's the big trick that we're trying to get. That's the big trap, the honey trap. Get them hooked so cheap, and then suddenly they're like, whoa, there's so much manga.
I was making screenshots for the App Store earlier today, and so like one of the screenshots I wanted to take was like, here's One Piece, here's like chapters 1 through whatever of One Piece, you can read all the chapters. And then one of the marketing people was like, no, put My Hero Academia there instead.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Marketing team.
I shouldn't need name.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
you're gonna have multiple versions. Chainsaw Man. What about Chainsaw Man?
Oh yeah,
gotta get
that's the biggest hit. It's on CBS, so I mean,
But there's not as many to put in that archive of chapters. There's only been 2, right, so far.
That's the flaw.
2 chapters, 930 chapters. Whatever.
It's the same. Yeah. Steven, Caleb, Ed, do you have any more questions from you guys?
Actually, since we are obviously on the One Piece podcast and the timing is good, I wanted to get Alexi's feedback here because in the last couple days, people have been talking that they noticed in the that there is a preview for the cover of what is that? I think volume 90 for our English version that is up on like the product page for Amazon for pre-order. And they've been noticing that there is something different about the cover this time. You want to talk about that?
Doing it. I'm changing the arc name. No more New World.
Oh, I just fell off my chair.
Are you okay?
Somewhere. We're going with Wano. So one funny thing is on the back cover copy, I say like I put something like and the Straw Hats, can they make it to their new destination? And someone that was reading it, my boss probably wrote and said like, well, the new arc title already says Wano, so obviously they're getting there.
Subscribe. Read more chapters. Save that one, okay? Remind me later.
Anyway, hopefully this arc lasts like 10 volumes because I might have gotten myself into trouble.
No, I remember.
I feel like it's gonna last for a while, don't you?
Yeah,
the arc.
Yeah, based on your One Piece sense and Professor Jump.
The dangerous thing is they start a new arc, but they're not clear that they're starting a new arc because I'll need to come up with a new name.
It's tricky, huh?
Yeah, what if it's for like 4 chapters?
We might do New World Part 2.
Did Davy Back get its own arc?
That one was too short.
Yeah, no, that was part of Water 7, I think, right?
Okay. I hope Wano isn't 2 volumes long.
Yeah, I think when you told me about this decision was like right when they said, "Oh, it's Act 1 is over," and you were paranoid that they were going to leave and go to a different arc, like as soon as you had made that call. But now we're here for a while, I think.
Yeah, it's gutsy when you don't know what's going to happen next. Like Dressrosa could have lasted 1 volume, and then it goes on for 10, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. In hindsight, we could have named some of these, but it's very dangerous because in the past some of the arcs have been very short.
Because you're not Captain Hindsight,
and sometimes they don't have obvious names.
In the second edition of One Piece, when you republish the whole thing in hardcover with Zoro as with an R, then that'll be fine. In all full color, I'm just giving my full, in 2034, you guys could get on that.
Out of retirement.
A lot, get out.
Pronounce it Zoro.
Go ahead. What?
Zoro. The Japanese.
Yes, you have to. How's the Japanese class going? You're right.
10 years, I still don't know nothing.
Yeah, it's like me in Spanish.
I still don't know nothing.
Jeff's been impressing me with his Japanese knowledge.
How's it going,
Jeff? Surpassed me already.
I just play gacha games in Japanese.
Don't worry, you only have 2 translators here to judge you.
How long did you study, Jeff?
I've been on and off studying like 10 years.
Oh,
so-
okay, I'm 6, so well, that's bad. But I think you work harder than me. It's almost like if you work harder, you'll get further along in something.
That makes no sense.
Like that.
Steven, you have questions from fans, right?
Oh, yeah, we had a few.
Did we
I thought
already
might
go
get
over
more.
all of them? Or
Yeah, I thought we might get more. I think the only one on on the Reddit forum that I saw was I guess this is kind of a typical question, but especially now that that it's like you can't really get any earlier. Like we're literally simultaneous with as soon as like the digital issues drop in Japan. So now the call is going out again from all these folks that are outside of the designated regions, and they want to know when are we going to get this in our country.
It's
an
uphill battle, but it's a
yeah.
struggle that we're embracing. And if you listen to our podcast that just came out, Andy mentioned we're not done. We're still building this. We're still evolving this. We're still trying to achieve, different goals. So just hang on. And that is that is the Soxon's famous goal, global domination, which I think means to get Shonen Jump in as many territories as possible. So it's still something that we are working on.
So if this
I
is
had another
Super,
question.
if this is Super Saiyan 3, your next one is Super Saiyan. What is it? God Super Saiyan, whatever it keeps going up.
Super Saiyan 4, in this house, we
one with
respect
the
Dragon
blue
Ball
hair.
GT.
The one with the red hair is your next. You still have plenty to go. Is fun. Yeah.
I tried to call this product Shonen Jump God, Super Shonen Jump God, but no one.
How could you not call
people
it
in
that?
Greenland don't give up.
I had another question, actually. There are people who are asking about the app change. Would that affect their downloaded chapters and ability to read offline?
Oh yeah, no. Anything that you currently have downloaded should still work, and the ability to download anything you could download now will stay unchanged. I think I can tell people about this.
It sounds like double talk.
But
I'll bleep it if you can't. But yeah, go ahead.
the new thing that we're adding to the apps is the ability to read stuff without downloading. So you don't need to download every single chapter. You can just read, physically. It's still downloading chapters as you read, or images as you read them, but you don't need to manage all your downloads, which will be really handy with reading lots of chapters. It'll be a pain to have to go through and download and then delete each one of those separately. So yeah.
Can you say
900
streaming?
chapters of One Piece, right?
Yeah, you can call it streaming. That's probably the best way to call it.
This is on you.
Yeah.
Streaming manga, a phrase that I just created. Copyright, trademark, all of that. Ed, do you have any other questions from people?
No, that was all the ones I saw.
Yeah, I think we went over a lot of them already, and I don't want to retread things. Caleb, Steven, Ed?
I think, there's another person who wanted to know, I think on the translation end, is this, changed schedule going to impact our ability? But actually, for me and Caleb, we're kind of the first part. As soon as the materials are ready, we're the first part of the process. So really, I think if anyone is getting crunched, it's the guys at the office that have to, take that time for final proofing and all that stuff. That's kind of the last bit of time that's getting abbreviated, right?
They can handle it.
Caleb, we need you to translate faster.
I'm
Lexi
sorry.
lives through pressure.
I only have 6 series.
Steven,
I can help you if you need help translating. I can help you.
Okay.
So Caleb, you do. I just want to make sure you do My Hero Academia, Dr. Stone. What are your other series that you're working on right now?
From the grand list of the simulpubs, it's also Vigilantes, My Hero Vigilantes, Dragon Ball Super, Hell's Paradise, World Trigger, and was there something else? I don't know.
Ruby?
Oh yeah, the new RWBY Ruby.
Some of those things are monthly.
And
yeah.
Steven.
Damn, Holmes, that's a lot. How do you have time to get a girlfriend and enjoy a rich, fulfilling love life with all that?
I'm working on it, dude. It's fine.
He's living in New Zealand now. He's doing great. Steven, what about you? Is it just
What about
One
me?
Piece?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question because I do Platinum End as well, and that is technically a jump title, I believe.
That will be brought into the fold.
Okay.
eventually.
Yeah, although I don't know. I feel like we're getting closer to the climax for that series, so I don't know how much longer we actually have for.
This is a good chance for me to catch up on that. That's I'm very excited to be able to catch up on all of these series. For how much? How much is it again?
$1.99 a month. You can become a member
and
access the digital vault.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You could get the 3 latest chapters of those 25 to 30 series for free on shonenjump.com if you live in any of those territories. And
you are not wrong.
Okay, I'm not wrong. I love not being wrong. Thank you guys for coming on the show so much. I hope we have you on soon because it's been like a year. We need to have you on more often. And
Jeff, were you right? And I was wrong.
We'll discuss later.
We'll discuss that later.
So yeah, Jeff, Alexa, Urian, thank you guys so much for making the time and coming on.
Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Listen to the Shonen Jump podcast if you don't.
Oh, and everybody tell your friends about everybody listening, tell your friends about being able to read 3 chapters of a whole bunch of Shonen Jump manga for free on shonenjump.com. Check it out and tell your friends.
Sundays at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Sundays, not Mondays. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
If Caleb can translate fast enough.
Yeah, come on, Caleb.
Wait, you're blaming Caleb for Steven's translation?
Might as well.
All right, thank you. This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 549 for the week of Monday, December 10th, 2018. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And my name is Alex.
And on today's episode, we have very special guest, translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump, Stephen Paul, is still here with us. How's it going, Stephen?
Hello again. Pretty good.
Yeah. We also have a very special guest. Also, we have the translator for My Hero Academia, Dr. Stone, and 4 or 5 other series, as we just heard. We have Caleb with us. How's it going, Caleb?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on again.
All the way from New Zealand. And last but certainly not least, we have our anime recap host and Anime News Network writer for series including One Piece, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Black Clover. We have Sam Leach with us. How's it going, Sam?
Hey guys, I have my Nintendo Switch right next to me, so that's kind of my challenge to you guys, not to make this a boring podcast.
Whoa. God, the gauntlet has been thrown. It's also up to Oda and this week's chapter, which we're going to go through soon. That's chapter 927. You just heard an interview with the guys over at Shonen Jump. I hope you guys enjoyed that. As you just heard, there's huge news. Shonen Jump is now basically free. The most recent 3 chapters of One Piece, along with the other simultaneous series, will now be free and extremely simultaneous. If you thought it was simultaneous before, you ain't seen nothing. As we mentioned, coming out at the exact same time as it does in Japan, Sundays. Alex and Sam, you were, on that interview. Do you guys want to say your thoughts, Alex? You could give it a shot.
I think that's amazing. It's free. That means nobody has any excuse ever.
No excuse.
Honestly, first and foremost, I hope this should cut down on piracy. All fingers crossed. But I think the main thing here is that it's sort of huge for this to be official and free. That's insane.
I never expected that. That was
it came out of left field. And the membership never been cheaper to have so much manga. I think this is going to be a really great time to hashtag give Peace a chance. For anybody who has never read One Piece, that that you're trying to get to read One Piece, this is probably a really great way to get them into it now. Just be like, hey, look, for $2 a month, you could read all of it.
Yeah, the backlog is easily and readily available now.
I think better. It's a better value for One Piece than any other series because we have the most volumes out. So it's the hardest one to get caught up on, almost by default. So
And unlike Netflix, you could only binge 100 chapters at a time, which is probably healthy to not binge more than 100 chapters of One Piece at a time. Coming from someone who's totally done that before.
Hey, I mean, realistically, that's less than 10 volumes. That's doable in a day.
Yeah, you shouldn't be reading 100 chapters in a day. And this comes from people who would do that. I remember the One Piece read through. Now, if you haven't, it's only $2 to do that along with us per month. So that's pretty amazing. Sam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I wasn't on the interview you just did, so what's in there is going to be as much a surprise to me as anyone else. So there's a lot about, like, I'm gonna have to wait to see like how they organize and what the kind of the UI is like on their new.
Yeah, that's gonna come out next week, so we'll see on the 17th. Kind of what it looks like.
It sounds crazy. Like it sounds a little bit too good to be true right now. So we'll see.
And we'll remind, we've talked a lot about this at this point, but if you're in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, the Philippines, Singapore, and India, you no longer have any excuse to pirate your manga or anime. I don't know if Crunchyroll's there. But you don't. And if you're not in one of those countries, please let Shonen Jump know, or more importantly, let Shueisha or your local publisher know. I also want my Shonen Jump. And they're, as they said, they're trying. Not to, quote Rick and Morty too much there, but they are out there, they're trying to make Shonen Jump bigger and better. So, they hear everyone, and I certainly have heard everyone abroad being like, but we can't. And hopefully one day that will change. There's some other news out there, in podcast news. First off, I'm back. Hey everyone. Nice to be back.
How's it going, Zach?
It's going good. You guys definitely held down the fort. It was great listening to you guys on Tuesdays, which was bizarre for me. It's always, I saw lots of One Piece in the wild. You could listen to our Patreon if you want some of those anecdotes. And if you haven't, please subscribe to us on patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. You could get our entire back catalog there. Also, please take our survey. There's a link on our website, onepiecepodcast.com, for that. We've gotten over 300 responses so far, so thank you guys for doing that. But if you haven't, please go out there and answer our questions. We have questions about One Piece, our podcast, and a lot more. Some interesting facts that I have learned from this, of our audience, 86% live in countries where at least they believe the manga is legally available. So now all you guys have no excuse, 86% of you, versus 79.7% where the anime is legally available. 92% of our audience is caught up with the manga. That's pretty crazy. And
I mean, I'd hope so, since all of our content kind of hinges on that.
That's true. The two most interesting ones that I could share at this moment, and I'm sure this is going to change as the numbers expand. These were very close. The top arcs in One Piece, according to you guys, the top three, which are the ones that have the biggest slice, the Paramount War, 10%. The Water 7 arc, 13.7%, and the NES Lobby arc, 23.7%. So those being separated. If those were together, it would take a very big chunk of the pie. You could do the math right there. And your favorite member of the Straw Hats, I think Oda would be very happy about this result. Sanji is a very close third. Robin and Usopp are basically tied at fourth. Sanji's at 10%. Those two are around 9 to 10% there. Zoro is in second at around almost 20%, and Luffy is at 30%.
That's not surprising.
And a lot of people wrote in Jinbei, as should be. Yeah, as should be. We're very happy with that. I couldn't officially include him because he hasn't been officially inducted.
But he's technically officially a crew member now.
Some also Beaver good cards. Ones. Jinbei should be on the list and you know it, was one of the submissions. Johnny and Yosaku, I don't get it, but okay. The Thousand Sunny. Yeah, that's basically it. Some people tried to write.
Wait. Sunny got more votes than Mary did?
Sunny got more votes than Vivi did. Mary got no votes, so you know
Mary's dead.
Mary's dead.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you. He dead. So yeah, I think we could round out the survey stuff. Steven, do you have in front of you some of the news that Kelly brought us? Otherwise, I could do it.
I do not.
Okay, I'll
here it is.
Okay,
I've got it now. I just needed to stall for 2 seconds. Yeah, so Kelly did have some notes for it. These are shorthand, so I'll just read them off. The British Museum, I don't know if this is a British Museum or the British Museum, is putting on the largest manga exhibition outside of Japan in 2019 from May 23rd to August 26th. I don't know if that
it is
anyone.
The British Museum.
They posted
Okay.
They posted some the One Piece panel where Luffy's crying about my crew, you know, that one from right before the time skip. So One Piece will likely be featured in some way there.
Cool.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, here's the headline from The Guardian. It says, "Boys love to Pokemon. British Museum to host major show on manga," which sounds like what the mainstream thinks of us.
That sounds like a 60-year-old wrote that title.
It's The Guardian, so probably.
Kelly also says that the Tsume Chopper figure is going to debut on December 19th. So that's coming up. And the Zoro POP is now in the U.S. online stores. And she says she will have a merch news article live soon.
I might buy that.
The Sume Ace figure, I think, was posted again recently. That thing everything they do looks so nice. I can't get over it. It's so meticulous. Any other? Yeah, go ahead.
I think aside from that, this is from Kelly, but just before the show, me and Ed were discussing the 2019 One Piece wall calendar, which has been trickling out now. And we were noting that it seems much more colorful than the last few, which is particularly noticeable right now because the current November and December of this year was the very sort of monochrome color spread in the wintry woods where everyone is wearing red and it's just all red and white.
Which I love, and it's very artsy, but it's not colorful, happy One Piece.
The official One Piece website actually just came out with, I know, at least a sweatshirt with that on it, like a red sweatshirt with that color spread on it, which is an interesting. Yeah.
Wonder if they actually use the screen printing or if it's just negative space and it's just the.
Yeah, it's a good question. Probably the former.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. I feel like there's more news because it's just been such a crazy news week, but I'm sure we'll figure it out later. Let's get right. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, did we want to talk about our plans, or are we going to wait till figure out more?
You're right. So the one we should have probably mentioned this. This is pretty important, and we'll mention this again at the end of the show. But Shonen Jump's going to be coming out on Sundays, as we mentioned, and actually, the Friday after next, as we mentioned, is a holiday, so it's going to come out on a Friday, the 21st. It's taking next week off, the manga. So we are going to be doing Sunday releases starting in January. I don't know yet what we're going to do with the Friday release in 2 weeks. I haven't. It depends what we're all doing. It's on a holiday weekend. I'm a Grinch notoriously, but I don't want to make everyone suffer for my Grinchitude.
Oh, really? I thought you were Jewish.
I have that's Judaism is a religion and Grinchitude is a spirituality, so I could have both of those. It's like Buddhism. Although I'm not going to get into that, but so we're going to try and release at least on an interim basis on Sunday evenings instead of Monday evenings, Eastern time.
A trial run?
A trial run, yeah. So for probably a few months. The question is right now, it is a weekend, so that often means that this doesn't just go for Stephen and Alex, but I mean, you two are of particular import. But generally as human beings, we don't know what we're going to do on weekends all the time because, personal lives come up more often than they would on a Monday night. However, there are also parts of it that, make it easier on me and certainly Steve, who is working through, the time on Monday that we record currently. So we're going to give it a shot. Hopefully, we could kind of keep what we have going as it is, because I've really been liking it and our fan base has been liking it, from what I could see in the survey, and our ratings have been doing really well as well. So I'd like to keep that going as well. But I think it is really important when like a crazy cool chapter comes out to hear the podcast as soon as possible thereafter. So we're going to give it a shot. This won't be permanent, unless it is going well. So be prepared starting 2019 to tune in on Sunday nights. It is a podcast though, so you could listen whenever the hell you want. That's
still listen on Mondays if you want.
Yeah, if you still feel like doing it, or on Tuesdays, because yeah, for most people it'll be Tuesdays right now, so it'll be Mondays now for most people. But enjoy that. We'll talk about that maybe a little more at the end of the show. But for now, I think we've delayed long enough. Let's go into the manga.
One Piece. Woo!
This is the manga recap for chapter 927, Otoko the Kamuro. Am I pronouncing that right?
You did it!
I did it!
First try, wow.
So, that is a first. What's going on the front page here, Ed?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's Garp fighting with a bear over salmon, requested by Noda Skywalker.
Friend of the show? Kind of?
Twitter friend.
Twitter friend.
Movies, yeah.
Friend of our Twitter account.
This just confirms that what we've all known for many, many years is that Garp is a bear.
This might be one of my, higher, top Noda Skywalker. He's done so many. One of my top Noda Skywalker ones. I love this.
I love this.
I love bears in general, and this kind of reminiscent of that color spread from a couple years back with the bears.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the salmon look. I guess that's just how salmon look. But
it was just in that color walk that we went over. I feel the very last one. So yeah.
No, this is fun. I love Garp and I love bears, so I mean, you kind of can't go wrong here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to talk about with this other than it's cool?
He's just pushing on that bear's face. So
yeah, poor bear, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he treats that bear like he treats Luffy. He's a great grandfather. So I haven't missed anything in the manga since I've been gone, right? Because last time, I just remember last time, like I missed most of the Reverie arc. So nothing happened while I was gone, right?
No, Blackbeard didn't show up.
Yeah, I didn't think so, because we're still in Wano, that something like that doesn't even make sense. Why would Blackbeard show up?
Yeah, you're good.
Yep. Yes, back in the flower capital, it's the special soba, Sangoro special soba. Step right up, and see Usopp, Frankie, and Robin all hanging out together at the shop. Sanji in the background, hearts, floating off of him, the chattering crowd. But Frankie, Usopp, and Robin are talking about news and the information about Luffy. But it's a rough situation. He's a good distance away. But he'll be out of there. I bet he'll be out of there by the big day, though, Frankie says. And Usopp doesn't really seem to be listening. He's talking about, man, this is good. It's stupid how good this tastes. Like, the chance to eat Sanji's cooking again.
I hope you're mentioning what else is happening with Usopp here, or near Usopp.
There's a frog eating his noodle.
There's a noodle on his noodle.
Toadsop.
Toadsopp's enjoying the soba. Toad soba? No, that doesn't. No, stretch.
Yeah. So Sanji looks over and he says, "I'm not interested in any of your opinions except for Orobi's. How are the noodles?" And she says, "Oh, they taste exquisite. I can't get enough of Geisha Orobi." His head turns all weird shapes and stuff.
Interesting that he has a bloosh sound effect, but there's no visible
God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank
Curious.
God. Yeah, that's the only thing that saves that panel, is that there is no blood.
Is that hair gel?
Oh,
Anyway.
God. Did you just do Is There Something About Mary reference?
Don't
Soiling
explain
his
it.
No,
feet.
I just realized that. It just took me a second.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
But yes, this is actually drawing too many women, Sungoro. I guess this is his customers telling him this. You gotta try a more spicy flavor, something good with drinks. It's, stuff Samurai would like. And so I guess it was Frankie. Frankie was saying
Frankie, yeah.
And Sanji makes the best face. It's too bad it's so small. And he says, Frankie says, "Why are you looking at me like that? Are you even trying to recruit more allies?"
Steven, I just saw our messages. Did you say that's the new Zach face in there? Is that who said that?
No,
Yes.
you post that Luffy face.
Yeah,
On
I
Twitter.
mean, to
The
be
grumpy
fair,
Luffy, yes.
Steve would say this is the face. The thing is, so he says there's a Zach face, but that's just because I make that face at Steve constantly. I don't make that face in regular life all the time.
It's a reaction.
It's just my natural reaction to Steve is to make that face Sanji's making right there.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Usopp notices, wait for us, male customers. This is unusual. Pardon. So, excuse me, ladies. Hey, you shouldn't cut in line, mister. Shut your mouth. Yeah, some big dudes pushing to the front of the line, and next page.
Caleb.
Okay, I'll take over. Then we get Gangster 1. Business is booming, eh, pal? Sanji says, it is, thank you, but if you want soba, the line starts at the back. That ain't the issue. What we want to know is, who said you could set up shop on this block? Huh? This stretch of turf, see, belongs to the Kyoshiro family. And then we get a text block, the Kyoshiro family, and these three are Kaku, Kuni, and Suke. Bebing. And we'll get an explanation about them from Stephen in a minute.
They remind me of the macro pirates.
Yeah.
They remind me of the robot mafia from Futurama.
My eyes are seeing double. 4 Kakus.
And so the same gangster says, you don't get to start your business without paying monetary respect to the folks who run it. How come? Ow, because we need funding to protect your business if anything should happen to it. See? No need. I'm plenty tough. And then Robin chimes in with some information she knows. I visited a banquet hall belonging to a person named Kyoshiro not long ago. I suppose these must be his henchmen. Shogun Orochi is a coward, said Kyoshiro. He was quite an insolent samurai, as I recall, so he's also a Yakuza boss. Let's see you protect it now. Eek! Crash, kashunk, splat, etc. Hey, stop eating that soba. And then I think that's Toko, yeah. Ha, wah, ah, ha, 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 my soba. More screaming. Clear out of here, all of yous. This stand is closed for the day. Usopp says, we'd better move it too. Wasting food is what gets Sanji the angriest. And Frankie says, we gonna fight?
Okay, so I guess I should talk for. I'm going to talk for a few minutes here about Kaku and Kuni and Suke. So like these names, particularly Kaku and Suke, are going to immediately jump out to any Japanese reader. And bear with me here. So Kuni is based off of, I'm going to start the story here with a guy named Tokugawa Mitsukuni. And he was, as you can imagine, he's a member of the Tokugawa clan. And he was not the shogun at any point, but he was the leader of a domain, as they call it, a han, which is kind of like the precursor to modern day prefectures. That's what's under the control of a daimyo. And he was kind of a bit of an interesting guy. He, like according to Wikipedia, he likes to imbibe, exotic foods like wine and yogurt, and such. And so he's not really a super notable historical figure. But after a while, like I don't know, maybe 100 years or so after, there were like accounts of his supposed travels, because he was kind of a bit of a worldly guy. He likes to travel around the country. And they ended up kind of taking a life of their own. Like he kind of became this sort of like a Johnny Appleseed type figure where, then it would, in another 100 years, there would be a novelist who turned it into a novel, and then it became a TV show or movies and stuff like that. And it ended up being the story of a guy named his kind of nickname, his traveling nickname, was Mitokomon. And he is the subject of a super popular live action TV show in Japan that's been running for decades. And the best way to describe it, I think, would be like Japanese Scooby-Doo. So, okay, so what is Scooby-Doo? The gang gets together, they're going to solve a mystery. They go to some haunted place, they talk to some people, and one of whom is going to be a cantankerous old man. And then they go solve the mystery. They figure out, what's going on. They catch the monster or the goblin or the ghost or whatever. It's always the old man. And then, maybe at the end, like Scooby and Shaggy see a glimpse of a real ghost for 5 seconds before they run away. And that's that's Scooby-Doo in a nutshell. It's every episode of Scooby-Doo, but it's super popular. It's not, the surprise of it isn't the fun part. So Mitokomon is a show where every episode is this guy who he goes by an alias, but he's based off of Tokugawa Mitsukuni, and he is basically like sort of like a retired daimyo sort of thing, but he passes himself off as a merchant, like a traveling merchant, and he's got these two bodyguard samurai named Kaku and Suke, Kaku-san and Suke-san, and their full names are like Kaku no Shin and Sukesaburo. So they're Kaku and Suke for short. And basically the plot of every episode is he goes to he travels to some local town and incognito, and he's kind of mingling among the people and enjoying the simple pleasures. And then along comes the corrupt local magistrate or official or whoever, and he's got the people under his thumb. And this guy's just such a jerk, and he's hired the local Ronin or whoever to be his muscle, and they got the people under their thumbs. And this guy who's secretly a member of the Tokugawa clan is just kind of watching and observing this thing. And then when they get to the climax where he's about to like send the samurai to slice some poor like cart merchant or something like that, then Mitokomon will step forward, and he'll like in the dramatic scene, he will like throw off his cloak, and he holds up his like little thingy that has like his like identification or whatever, and he holds it up and he says, "Do you not see this crest?" And it has like the Tokugawa symbol on it. And then the local magistrate is like, "Oh my God! Oh, I didn't realize who I was dealing with." And so he's kind of like this a bit of a folksy figure who is like the guy who secretly has tons of power but is very humble, and he doesn't show it off. And then when the moment calls for it, he is the voice for truth and forthrightness and honesty and all these things, and he's correcting this corruption that is being inflicted on the small folk. And so that's basically every single episode of Mitokomon. And so it's actually kind of funny. I don't think that there's anything like deeply satirical about this, or that Oda is trying to like show everyone the real truth of the story of Mitokomon. But it is kind of funny that he has taken those names and given them to these like actual ruffians who do not seem like good guys at all. So it's kind of funny. It's a little role reversal.
My question is, Stephen, were the names given kanji in the original?
No. In the original? I mean, I think they're usually the bodyguards are usually, it's the kanji, like Suke is, well, you probably know, you know what I'm thinking of is a very common ending thing. And in One Piece here, these are all katakana.
They were just katakana, but you think the Japanese audience would automatically?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's very clear. There you go. That's Mitokomon. It's a Japanese, another one of those Japanese cultural touchstones that everyone is familiar with. So
thank you, Stephen.
Now you know.
As always,
wow.
as always, really great insight. Of something I never in a million years would have known. Moving, kind of back into things. I love the faces on this page, particularly Sanji and Frankie at the end there. I just want to make a note of that. Are really, really great.
It's a really good Sanji panel for sure.
And the Frankie face looks like an almost exaggerated, almost maybe like an older type of old school kind of Frankie look, almost. Yeah, I don't know what it is about it, but it's like a clean. I don't know. Anyway, where are we, Alex?
Well, it's good to see Frankie getting into brawl mode. I think he's been itching for a fight for quite a while. It's been a little while since we've seen him in action, and as Usopp predicts, Sanji is hopping mad, telling the gang, "I'm going to need you to eat all of that, sir." And one of the, I guess that's Kaku. It's not really
Kuni.
clear.
Sorry,
that one's Kuni, the one in the middle. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Kuni says, "Huh? You want to go?" And everybody is clearing out as a fight begins to erupt. The Kyoshiro family is getting violent. The line, of course, dissipates, and before you can say special soba, Kuni gets a sandal to the face. Sanji's, as Maddie puts it, beefy hairy leg.
That's the thing is that's exactly what my leg looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It's
beefy and hairy.
Beefy and hairy.
It's really too bad that Maddie isn't drawing for this episode.
Yeah.
Beefy hairy soba noodle leg.
Yeah. Well, he gets one right to the cheek as Sanji then uses that same foot to stomp him on the ground. Not just on the ground, but it breaks the ground as well. Is that the yes? And the other two are taken aback. Whoa, boss! And the passersby notice that, whoa, that soba cook is tough. And the women think, oh my goodness, what a hunk. Meanwhile, Frankie has already started. He is currently upside down in the air, as Suke remarks, "No, hey, this is dangerous." Getting ready for his Franosuke iron suplex, and yes, taking a move that we saw first on Dressrosa, he suplexes Suke right into the ground with a kadon.
That's what a three-story suplex, I think.
Yeah.
How many was the Senor Pink one? It's like an 80s story,
That was from the top of the factory, right?
Yeah. That's the only thing he got to do to the factory. Jump off of it. This page reminds me why I really love Sanji, as someone into leg-based martial arts. I like, kind of it's I really relate to it. Also the hairy leg thing. Do you guys want to hear more about my legs? Sam.
Yeah, I do. So you can't go wrong with a suplex. I think this is Kaku, right? Who Sanji kicked in the face.
That's Kuni.
Oh, it's Kuni. And then Suke is the one that Frankie just suplexed, right?
Mm-hmm. Would you say that they've both been smashed?
Yes. That carpenter too? I don't like the look of this. The onlookers are shocked that these I guess to them they're nobodies, are beating up these gangsters. Although Frankie's like a really big dude. It should not be surprising that he can beat someone up. Sanji is picking up some of the noodles that fell over, and he's stuffing it into the guy's face. Eat it. Eat all of it. You knocked the soba over on purpose. And we get a little
It's
that, by the way.
It's kind of hard to see because it's so small, but if you zoom in, you can actually see that the guy's mouth, it looks like he's feeding a Muppet because his mouth is just like open really wide, and he's just jamming it in there.
Little Pac-Man mouth.
Back, everybody.
Yeah.
You'll pay for this. You'll regret it. And while enjoying some soba, Usopp is talking. Well, that's that. Are we sure that wasn't a bad idea, though? Those might have been dangerous people to mess with. Look, That huge line has scattered to the wind. I can just tell they're going to call some awful guy down on us.
Robin loves grim shit, and that explains why she finds this so funny. That, oh, shit's going to go down now. That's pretty funny.
Oh, not like she's going to have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Sanji and Frankie, they notice the kid peering around the corner. Hey, that's that kid whose soba he spilled. The weird one who was laughing while she cried. So Sanji is whipping up a new dish for her, and he's kneeling, and he's this is really cute. I'm glad. Let's see here. I'm glad there was still one bowl's worth left that was good. Here, eat it up. Yay! Thank you. I heard the special soba was so good I had to line up all day just to try it, and now I'm late for work because of it. I saved up my allowance and everything, and when I finally bought my bowl, it got spilled. I was so mad, and she's slurping up the soba. It's so yummy, and she's smiling, and she's got tears. City girl, Toko. Ah ha ha ha! I've never tasted such yummy soba before. And get the little full body shot of her.
I love this design that, he went back to the adorable little girl, but she has a very much like more caricatured look compared to Tama.
Yeah, she's got her eyebrows shaved off and the little charcoal marks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just kind of the weird, like almost Tezuka style hair, hardened hairpiece and look to it. It's great. She's very wacky. And so on the next page, Sanji is, she like her laugh is infectious. It's making Sanji burst out too. And he says, "What's your name, kid?" And as she's slurping away, she says, "It's Toko, but say it with the honorific O in front," which I think actually is the first time I've ever gotten the chance to explain that all the O stuff with the girls' names is, just an honorific, if it wasn't clear from context already. And O. And so Robin takes the base. This is like Ligma or something. Robin's like, "Otoko." And she's like, "Hey, I'm not a man. I'm not an Otoko." So we had to put in a little.
I really hope that's what her laugh sounds like. It should sound like that.
It has to be.
It should sound like that really wacky Sanji laugh that he did at the beginning of the Arlong arc.
How's it go, Ed?
Ed does a perfect impression of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute there.
I'd like to think he was bringing that laugh back at the beginning of the page there.
Yeah.
At the top.
Yeah, because we never hear Sanji laugh, so he better laugh like that.
Yeah. The nice thing though is that this is for reproducing a pun or just leaving a pun in the original Japanese. At least it's like one of those very first words that you learn when you learn Japanese. So there's probably a lot of first semester students who picked up on that immediately. But she's laughing. "Toko's just my name," and you can see from the reactions that this is clearly like her go-to joke. Because Frankie and Usopp are just losing their shit. Their role, they are LMFAO, ROT.
They all love dad jokes here.
Yeah. And she's like, "Isn't that funny? Everyone always says it's easy to remember." So she's slurping away her noodles, and she finishes them off and thanks Sanji. And he says, "Come back anytime." And then she freaks out. "Oh no, I really am late. I'm in big trouble. Oh yeah, I'll be passing through here again. Today's the Oiran's procession." And Sanji, And then Robin says, "Toko, are you a Kamuro?" So, boy, that's a bunch of words that just got said in that panel.
Yeah.
And Toko says, "That's right. I'm a Kamuro. It's already started. In fact, I gotta hurry. Bye-bye. See ya." And she runs off and says, "Oh, you should watch the procession. The Oiran is so beautiful." And we get a whole row of reactions from the Straw Hats, where Usopp just is marveling at how hilarious she is, and Robin is laughing quite. This might be one of the most exaggerated Robin like smile and laugh panels that we've ever seen.
She's growing. First she made that really weird face with her neck, and now she's making this one. Tic-tac-toe face, is that what we're calling it?
Her personality is blooming, you might say. She thinks that Toko is just adorable, and Sanji is snorting as he thinks about the oft-rumored Oiran's procession, and then Frankie here, as the spiritual American of the group, is
I was
like,
going to say that if you didn't.
Oiran Kamaru, what's that? And here, like literally sliding, you can see the visual effect sliding into the panel is the master geisha, the mentor, the teacher, who just zooms right in and says, "What is an Oiran, you ask?" And Usopp is wondering where the paper lantern hag came from. I guess probably referring to like the shape of her hair, maybe. That it looks like those red paper lanterns. And she immediately slaps back with, "Who are you calling a wrinkled up paper lantern? I'll illuminate your hide, you little snot!" And Robin, of course, recognizes that this is her instructor. And this old lady who still doesn't have a name, I guess,
Mrs.
says,
Strabismus. No one's getting cross-eyed.
I've got good news for you, Orobi. I ran all over the flower capital looking for you.
That's news.
Go on.
Caleb.
Oh, am I doing this next page?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
If you dare.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What is an Oiran? They ask. The Oiran is a courtesan, the top idol of Wano, a superstar. Ooh, says Frankie. He's into it now, even though he did not know the vocabulary. There's only one in the nation at this moment, and this chosen woman's name is Komurasaki. Dum. And we get a silhouette of her. Can't really tell from the silhouette yet, but she looks like she's going to be a pretty standard Oda woman.
With big hair.
With a pretty face. Yeah, with big hair. Or some sort of decoration. The boss lady goes on. The desire of all men, the admiration of all women. She is ultimately refined, and her beauty rocks the entire nation. They all gulp and react. They're very shocked at this news. She is as regal as any god. She is womanhood perfected. That is Komurasaki, the Oiran. Now that's just crazy. No woman is perfect. And where's Sanji in this panel? No, he's not there. Don't take my word for it. See her with your own eyes.
See, Sanji knows all women are goddesses.
Yeah. There, you can hear it now. The cheers and excitement, quickening rhythms that surround her presence. And we get some babings and screams from the distance. Announcing.
They're being so stupid in the background.
And so at Orochi Palace today, there's to be a feast for the Shogun. The Oiran's procession is making its way to the castle. And that girl earlier, she is a Kamuro, an attendant to the Oiran. And Orobi, congratulations are in order. You've been summoned to the ceremonial hall too. At last, this is what Robin has been going for. What? I know how you've been hoping to meet Shogun Orochi in person. Why, yes. Sanji fawns over her. Ooh, Robin, that's amazing. Come back and prepare at once. And Robin said,
Robin pose.
First, I can't wait. Bing.
So I want to, before we move on, I kind of want to point out something about Robin in this chapter. She, in the beginning of the chapter, the first half, she's kind of missing her trademark nose line. The piece that sets her apart from every other One Piece lady. And at first I wondered, because she's also missing it from the Volume 91 cover, and I wondered if, maybe she's just wearing so much makeup that, you can't see it.
Her nose line just kind of got absorbed into the rest of the series art stuff. Because Sanji has that nose line in this chapter. It just kind of comes in and out whenever Oda wants to use it, I think.
I see. Well, anyway, it's back.
Boy, if she had any nerves at all about going to doing this undercover mission in the feast chamber of the Shogun, she sure is not showing it right now.
Well, this is literally her forte.
This was her job before she was a straw hat.
Assassination was literally.
She's been doing this much longer than anyone else.
Yeah.
And I guess she's just gotten better at it, doing whatever she did those 2 years
with the revolutionaries. Yeah. So I think Ash or someone else maybe mentioned the other week that Nami being a ninja makes no sense. It should have been Robin, but I guess it makes a little more sense now what Robin's doing here. She's going after the big guns, it looks like, or at least trying to get some information about the big guns.
I don't know. Nami with the sneaking around makes the ninja make sense to me, but
she's a burglar.
Yeah, she is. She's a cat burglar, and there was a cat up there also, so it makes sense. None of you mentioned that last time.
And her climate tech is like spells.
Yeah, she's got Ninpo herself. She even does the nin.
Yeah, it's something Kinemon mentioned a bunch in Dressrosa, I think it was.
She had a ninja moment in Punk Hazard.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, it was Punk Hazard. Yeah, because Nami was barely in Dressrosa. Anyway, we go to the last page where I will pronounce things. Lady Komurasaki, everyone yells from the audience. They're crying, they're weeping, as they tell them, oh, look this way. Oh, it's the Oran. Am I pronouncing Oran High School Host Club correctly?
Oran.
Oran. And literally blinding people with her beauty. As they all make way, and you see she seems pretty tall, I guess, or it might just be a foreshortening thing or whatever that's called, of Oiran Komurasaki, and behind tags Toko, not a man, but Toko, the person. I can't do the joke as well as she did. And
Otoko would be the
Otoko would be the joke. She's like, I'm late, I know. Or whatever the laugh is that we're doing for her.
That's good.
Was that what you were doing,
good,
Stephen?
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And the grown-up version of that laugh says, huh. And sparkles are just emanating off of her. This is even more than we got with Empress Hancock, I feel like. This is like some real build-up here. It's like, you had me worried, Toko, she says. What is she snapping? Or, oh no, she's tapping her,
She's tapping her on the head.
On the head.
Yeah.
Where she goes, sorry, big sis. Her voice just goes completely, normal after her laughing. Anyway, someone over some sort of form of communication. Have we seen transponder snails here? I can't even recall what they're used for communication in Wano.
Because they talk about them, like Kinemon would refer to them as just like the snail. Like it was a different word, but it was a different word for snail, which suggested that he was just like, oh, those snails you have. So
yeah, that hasn't come up yet, I guess. But I just noticed this. They're obviously communicating somehow here with Kyoshiro. Anyway, the talking. This is talking back and forth. This has nothing to do with that anyway. Saying that they need 20 statutes. I am a lawyer. Stretchers stat for the unconscious, the bleeding, and the blind, which was the alternate to the Statue of Liberty inscription that had went through during Oiran's passage. And you see passed out men strewing the street there. And we head toward Sakyo, in the flower capital, which is where we had been, but this is, I guess, a more specific spot here. And Kyoshiro, that's his name again? I'm immediately forgetting. There's so many names in Wano. I really need an encyclopedia for this at some point. Saying, beaten by a soba cook. And this is Kaku?
yes.
Yeah. So I did not look. I completely guessed. Saying, yeah, he was so strong. And Kiyoshiro says, look, I'm busy. I've been summoned to Shogun Orochi's feast. I gotta eat. So you could contact Queen, who I assume we were introduced to in a previous chapter. And he says, have him send a heavy instead. But, Kaku retorts, that's going to cause a big scene, though. You realize that. It says, do it anyway. And he is grinning. He's excited for whatever chaos might ensue. And meanwhile, Shogun Orochi is being called. I'm guessing this is by another one of those three, but maybe not. I don't know. Saying that the Oiran is on her way here now. And we see silhouettes of some sort of dragon hydra looking thing. Who the hell knows? Saying, I see, Komurasaki, you will be mine today. I swear. At last, I swear it. And can you... I'm glad someone did the laugh for me.
Butterfly.
It's got to be more like...
Oh, that's what you think it sounds?
So you're saying that the Shogun's a dork?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
I have a very specific person in mind for what he sounds like, that only some people on this show may get even, so I'm not even going to go there. Tampa. That's all I'll say. Anyway, that's going to end the chapter. One Piece is off next week. We'll talk a little bit more about what we'll be doing then at the end of the show. But what did you guys think of this chapter? Let's start with Caleb.
Yeah, so I had two thoughts. First, right at the end, we get this very clear silhouette of Orochi with 5 Hydra heads, and I'm thinking that has to be like a red herring, that it's not going to be that straightforward. Maybe something along the lines of the smile fruits, where it's like some crazy hybrid animal design and not what it seems like.
That's my hope. I hope it is like a Hydra model, or what was that? The Yamata no Orochi, right?
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
Right. That would be the 8-headed dragon.
Right. Yeah, I hope it is that, but like a smile fruit. So like they're all coming out of his nipples. So he's got like snake dragon nipples.
Exactly. That is the most like Oda thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then my other comment for this chapter, sort of from the language angle, Stephen can probably appreciate this. I thought it was interesting, actually, throughout the whole arc, how we sort of have this different perspective as English speakers of the Straw Hats' relationship with all the terminology in Wano. So, like, the Japanese readers, of course, they're going to get the otoko joke, because it's like, it's just a normal word. But then the Japanese readers are also going to know oiran and, kamuro and all that. But then it's interesting that we get Frankie, actually. Somebody said he's sort of like the token American who doesn't know those terms. And he's like our window into, like, he's almost filling in for our readership, which is kind of fun.
Thank you, Frankie.
Yeah. So so actually, incidentally, on that note, I originally, as I was working through this, because there's kind of a delay between when these terms pop up, and then there's a couple pages before the old lady steps in and like explains everything. So I initially was, translating it. I was saying, it's not the oiran, it's the courtesan. And I just assumed like, it's going to be the courtesans, like plural procession. And that it's it's going to be a bunch of beautiful women walking through, and like Kamuro, I had to look up Kamuro, but it ended up being okay, it's an attendant, so she could say she's an attendant, but then you get to where they actually start explaining all of these things within the context, and I was like, actually, if I have this translated already, it's going to sound weird, because then it's like, I'm an attendant. What does that mean? Well, I attend. I stand around and I do stuff for the courtesan. And it seemed like he was kind of specifying, just enough that I was like, my spider sense went off, and I was like, what? I could just leave this in the Japanese term, because there's enough explanation here, and he specifies that there's like only one oiran, so it's just kind of like, it's almost like a nickname or a title for this single character. And I was like, okay, I think I can just play this off, by letting the reader learn as much as the characters are in the scene. So it worked out in this sense, I think.
It worked to make it feel like that was cool. Foreign terminology.
Right.
We are in Wano, so
yeah.
Caleb, any other thoughts on the chapter?
No, that was pretty much what I had to say. But thanks.
Sam.
There's a lot here that's going to depend on how the rest of the arc unfolds. Like the lady, the Komurasaki. Like, it feels like we're being set up for a punchline with her, but then at the same time, like, a punchline feels a little too obvious. So maybe that's not it. Like, I don't know, like, none of the answers to the mystery that's being set up here are satisfying right now. So we'll have to see where that goes. And then what's this Papador dude's name? Kiyoshiro?
Mm-hmm.
That guy is. I really liked what I think Joey pointed out, that there's kind of a trope in samurai movies of a guy like him. Like, he's the guy who normally turns on the hero's side eventually. Yeah, it's just like a lot of intrigue, and I don't know where it wants to go. Like Kyoshio obviously doesn't like Orochi, but he is still working for him and like plotting to fight the Straw Hats. So that'll be interesting. And then also Otoko. It's like, okay, another small girl character. Like, what's the purpose of having another one? But Toko has a very. I'm like worried for her. Like she feels like Koala as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
where it's like there's probably something really messed up going on with her, or is going to happen to her, or has happened to her. So that'll be interesting.
I should also point out too, just in case anyone wasn't really sure, but I believe it is very heavily implied when she says "big sis." That's not like an organizational thing. That she is actually the younger sister of Komurasaki, and that's one of the reasons why she's important.
Really?
Yeah, because she would just say like Oiran sama or something something like that in the Japanese.
Well, I thought it was that her older sister was also an attendant. I thought that's what that was.
No, she's talking to Komurasaki.
Because my gut is entertaining. Like my first thought is like this has to be Hiyori, Komurasaki.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the first thing that jumps to mind, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea where this is going to go, and it's like it's almost like a little. It's one of those cases where it's like
I didn't even think.
Like I don't know how to appreciate this chapter until the rest of the story unfolds.
Stephen.
Okay. Yeah, this is a fun chapter. It was a very juicy one as far as like the the local Wano flavor goes. Lots of catching up with Sanji and more specifically Usopp, Frankie, and Robin. So that was fun. It was kind of interesting because last week I was talking about how like I was a little worried about just how many balls were being juggled as far as like these mystery characters, and then who's this guy who's menacing Sanji or is about to menace Sanji, and you have another mystery figure in the cage, and like how much is too much. And I thought it was reassuring then to immediately have this guy turn out to be like, okay, so these are like local toughs, but they're working for Kyoshiro. So there's a connection there that is, connecting some of the dots, that it's not just another random character who, exists on their own and is not connected to any of the others. So it feels like, okay, we are building, the story is building towards something more so than it felt like when we left off last week, which was nice. I definitely agree that at least the obvious guess, not that it's like implied or anything, but just reading between the lines is that okay, well, it seems likely. Okay, there's a beautiful woman who is now grown. This is the first guess is probably that it is. Momonosuke. It was Momonosuke's younger sister, right? Hiyori, who was left behind when everyone jumped through time 20 years ago. So that seems to be the obvious guess. Although what kind of character she is and what role she will play is not really certain. Komurasaki also is the name of like it's sort of like the go-to name. It's like the most famous story of a historical oidan, which is as a like the translation is a courtesan, and it is sort of related to the concept of geisha, which is obviously not. It's not strictly a prostitute. They're like entertainment women that perform, and they can do these. They can play music and sing songs and do all these things. And on the seedier end, there can be prostitution involved, as a brothel. But there are also much finer ones like the Oiran that are more like court ladies. So that's what her character is going to be. And Komurasaki historically was like a famous Oiran who had she had a suitor, a guy who was very aggressive in trying to court her, and it's like some tragic end, like he ends up killing her or something like that. So there might be a bit of that going on.
I thought it was that she kills herself to keep herself out of his hands.
Okay, something like that. It's a tragic story.
Yeah,
there may be something to that here with Orochi, being indicated as being very interested in Komurasaki. When he says, "You'll be mine at last," so he's clearly been trying to do this.
It's like an echo of what we saw with Okiku and the sumo guy.
I'm glad you didn't say Vanderdecken.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, there's one last little bit of wordplay, which is again completely kind of untranslatable. But the title of the chapter, which is Otoko the Kamuro. So the term Kamuro as an attendant is actually it is named after their hairstyle, because as the attendants, they would have to like shave their head or pull their hair back or something. So that's kind of why she has this very big forehead with the drawn on eyebrows and stuff. And Kamuro is used with the kanji, and it means bald, or not having a full head of hair, essentially. And it is also the kanji, therefore, for the regular medical definition of baldness. So when you just see the chapter title on its own, Kamuro no Otoko, it looks like it's a fancy way of saying a bald man. So that was kind of funny when I noticed it, but I was like, okay, yeah, that's no way that will work with all.
And there's actually a similar thing that you can still see in sumo to this day, because sometimes in the top division you'll get someone who makes a meteoric rise, and he doesn't have enough hair to make a full top knot yet, so he has it slicked back like he's a gangster, basically. When they rise up through the ranks really, really quickly, and they're on TV, like before they're even able to get their full sumo haircut, which reminds me of that.
Huh, that's cool. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on this chapter.
Alex.
Man, I had a sentiment last chapter where I was really glad to have a diversion with the other Straw Hats and see what they were up to, and man, I really loved this chapter. Sort of seeing this quad of Usopp, Sanji, Frankie, and Robin was it was really nice to see these guys all interacting together again. I missed that, and I love that Frankie is just ready for a brawl and looking for any excuse to fight. That's super great. Sanji felt really great this chapter too. Like I missed the don't waste food type of angry that Sanji gets, and I love when Usopp knows exactly what's going to happen as soon as those guys knock over the big pot of soba. Those goons are super funny. Once again, love Kyoshiro and his awesome pompadour. I'm really looking forward to seeing where he plays a hand in all this. Orochi, I really want it to be a goofy smile fruit. Like that's my hope. Because if he's a coward, I don't know, having a big powerful devil fruit like something like a Yamada no Orochi model wouldn't necessarily. I don't know. That doesn't line up. If he's a coward. To me,
he does sound like a dweeb, just based.
Yeah, he does. Let's see.
The
Komurasaki,
sun always rises in Wano.
Yeah, Komurasaki. The silhouette of Komurasaki sort of reminded me of the Shimasen player, who comes in at the beginning and the end of the acts. I think it's just because her headpiece sort of looks like the ears of the mask. That might just be why. But yeah, I was reminded immediately of Hancock as soon as you see this trail of people. Right. So I wonder, yeah. Somebody posted like a thing on Twitter, maybe like, or posited a theory on Twitter about Toko's laughter, and maybe it's related to a devil fruit. And I didn't want to believe that. I just kind of hope that she's just a dumb, goofy, hilarious kid, and that's why they're all laughing and loving it. I'm in agreement that like it seems a little foreboding, just because, man, like look how endearing this kid is. You're making this kid super endearing, and everybody's having such a good time with her. And I'm like, oh man, if something like terrible happens to her, it's going to be like extra crushing. But yeah, she could be like Koala and compensating for something as well.
Well, they've also done that gag once this arc already, and this arc isn't that long yet.
Yeah.
I mean, as a note, a lot of people use laughter, as you said, to mask emotional hurt behind them, so it's possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out the one chapter where they all gulp after hearing about the Oiran, where Sanji, Usopp, and Frankie are like, oh, they're very revered at the thought of this beautiful woman. Because it's good to show that Sanji isn't the only one thinking about women. It's a very natural thing to be for that to happen. So I feel like it reminded me of the beginning of the time, or the start of the time skip where Usopp and Frankie are also marveling over Hancock because they've never seen the Pirate Empress before, and I like that. Robin's master is weird. She's gonna have like, I don't know, like, like you mentioned, we don't know her name, and I guess we don't need to, but it's odd. I don't know if I mentioned this when she was first introduced, but she sort of reminds me of the old hag from One Piece movie 7. Looks very similar, dresses similar, different face though. Anyway, that's it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to add. I'm trying to it's definitely, it didn't feel like a short chapter, but it also not a ton happened. I mean, the highlight of this definitely was the Sanji and Frankie. I think this is a perfectly cromulent chapter, for lack of a better term. I like Toko. I am now, thanks to Alex, extremely worried about what's about to happen to her. I really enjoyed the kind of where things are going, but at the same time, I think, Steven, you mentioned this in the last episode. We keep getting introduced to all these plot elements, and there's always a new silhouetted person each week. Which kind of worries me, because why do we keep getting those? How long is this arc going? To be fair, the guy who is like the Sanji silhouette guy from, was that last week? Ended up being kind of a, I don't want to say nobody, but one of these guys, just kind of got introduced right away. I don't understand why he had to be silhouetted, unless these designs, I mean, I guess Steven explained it, but I don't know. I understand the silhouette more here. This might take away the Otama for Hyogo, whatever, I forget what Hiyori. I don't know what that means in Japanese.
It doesn't have to mean anything. It's a name.
I mean, you
what does Zach mean?
I don't know, but Steven, completely unrelated. Do you know the story about my Japan mix-up with, I know Caleb doesn't, mixing up the word for "can I please have a check" with "can I please have an enema," and how similar those two words are?
You were saying kancho instead of kanjo.
Yeah, which is, come on, why do you make those words so similar sounding? Enema doesn't sound like anything else in English. Enema, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Enema of the... That's an
Enema of the State, yeah.
Well, we were doing that JoJo's meme on Twitter with the first album that you bought.
Yeah.
Stand, and mine was Enema of the State, and I don't want that stand, so.
That is a scary stand you have there, Ed. I am gonna just back up. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? So yeah, I think Sanji. Everything I love about Sanji is in this chapter, and also everything I don't love about Sanji is in this chapter. So I'm kind of conflicted. And it's just great seeing Usopp and Frankie and Robin again. I just really just appreciated living with those characters again for a moment here. And I kind of subscribe to the theory that Alex had, and I hope it's correct for the Shogun Orochi. So that's all I got. Any other final thoughts? Otherwise, we can move into the next segment.
No, I'm good.
Cool. Let's do it.
This is the anime recap for episode 864. Finally, they clash. The Emperor of the Sea versus the Straw Hats. I'm your host Sam, and today with me we have Ed.
Hey. Yeah. I there are certainly parts of this episode that I enjoyed quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But other parts were,
Yeah, I'm feeling the grind right now.
Yeah. They have enough good. God, it's hard to compare with like something like My Hero Academia, where they space out the anime and they have the benefit, the luxury of having seasons and the ability to have planned for a beginning, middle, of an end of a season. But the One Piece just goes on. There's really nothing like it. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah, for better and for worse.
Yeah,
mostly
pretty much.
for worse.
Well, in the anime at least, yeah. So we're left with the things that we already really loved in the manga, and sometimes the animation improves them.
The title card this week begins at 4 minutes and 43 seconds. We open. Now I'm getting really tired of like every episode opening closing with Luffy versus Katakuri.
Hoo boy. Yeah.
Because not a whole lot's changing over there, and yet that's kind of the emotional beats that we're ending every episode on.
Yeah, but and I was feeling that at the very beginning of this. They managed to progress it a little bit by the end of this episode, that we can sort of see where Luffy's process is going, and his skills are improving. But yeah, it's pacing problems.
So Luffy's getting squashed by big giant mochi hands, and Katakuri starts finger banging him.
You're not wrong.
He just makes his hand like a gun and goes pew 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 and shoots little mochi bullets at him.
Yeah, this was the part that was annoying me.
So we come back to the Sunny, and everyone's reacting to Big Mom tearing up the walls. It's like a lot of like unmoving still shots. I don't want to sound like I'm too harsh on it, but it's
But the later parts of the Big Mom stuff are actually the things that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, this was it felt like a little bit of a repeat of what we saw. I mean, literally, some of this is repeated from what we saw last week.
Yeah. Jinbei tells her that the cake isn't on the ship, and Mom is saying, "That can't be true. If that's true, I'll have to kill my own eldest son for lying to me." And Sparrow, who's not even like around, he's off in the distance, like he can hear her, and he's like, "Oh no, she knows."
Yeah, I think at one point we see Genie Weenie reading, like he's looking with binoculars, and he's like, "Ah, God, he's screwed."
And so Big Mom asks
her facial
Napoleon
expressions in this episode are great. Like
yes.
the part where
that,
it's
deranged smile.
Yeah, and also like the part where her hair is filling the rest of the frame, so all you see is her face close up and glowing hair. That's a good one.
She puts Napoleon in her fire hair, and now it's cognac.
Yeah, cognac. It's French
cognac.
Yeah, it's French grape liqueur. I think is how that works. Yeah.
And she clashes with Jinbei. Jinbei puts his arms in the big defensive cross. Has the armament hockey going. Kairagi blaze. And then there's kind of an elongated clash where she's pushing him, and then finally finishes him off and sends him flying into the ocean. Big Mom is like chopping at the ship and basically sawing into the ship with Napoleon, and Nami's worried about Carrot. And Nami is about to get attacked by Big Mom, who's grabbing at her, and Chopper goes guard point, defends her.
That was
then
cute.
Big Mom is able to just pick him up and be like, "Ooh, you're even more interesting now. You're a rare animal, just like Soul King." And we know how much Mom likes rare species.
Mm-hmm. That was actually
she calls him a chubby raccoon.
He does not like that.
Yeah, and so the sail on the Thousand Sunny is lighting a blaze because fire's going everywhere, and Peril Sparrow is getting excited because if the ship sinks, maybe my lie will go down with it, and you'll never have to explain where the cake went.
I just have to compliment Mami Koyama's voice acting in this episode. She's all over the place, and she's quiet but she can still be menacing, but then she like shrieks and yells, and it's like there's such great old person, like it sounds like an insult to say like it's great old person acting, but like she's this exhausted person and she's still extremely threatening, and it's I've really been enjoying her performance.
Yeah, and this is like the first time in a while she's had something more to say than wedding cake.
Exactly. Yes.
So water launches out of the sea.
That was really cool.
Jinbei,
that was really cool.
He's here. The water lands on Big Mom, and her fire goes out. Her hair is like draped over. She like looks equally scary without the fire because her hair is like all wet and like in her face.
It's like what you look like when you have to run out of the shower to get the phone.
Yeah, and this is a great scene where Jinbei is coming in. He's doing the big punch, and the big exciting music is playing.
Mm-hmm. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he knocks her off the ship now, and Mom lands on Zeus.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you kind of knew that was going to happen, but you're caught up in the emotion of Jinbei like knocking her out, but no, like he can land a punch on her. That's more than just about anyone else can do, but it's not much.
So she lands in Napoleon, and we have the sequence of Zeus going in for the shock, Mom has made Napoleon like extra long. Zeus shocks. We think it's Nami at first, and we hear what sounds like a woman screaming, but I think maybe it's Nami's voice actress at first, but then when they kind of come back to the same shot, it's now Cho doing the high pitched woman scream, and we realize that no, it's not Nami who got shocked, it's Brooke. And I think this joke plays better in the anime because it's easier to make sense of what's happening.
Yeah, I agree, and it's interesting because they it sounds. You'd think that the lightning would singe his hair, but we just have to kind of ignore that.
It's a very powerful afro. He has very strong follicles.
Right.
So Brooke makes this big panties joke. Can I show you? I like Big Mom's response to the can you show me your panties? Because it's not like it's confused, but it's mostly just like aggressive, like ha. And Nami and Chopper are surprised, and then Brooke jumps super fast. He's behind her already. He does his humming thing, closes his sword. Zeus gets cut in half. This whole sequence has that one animator's style that I did look up the name Yoshikazu Tomita. He's kind of he's popular among the people who really like the Sakuga people. I find the overabundance of like super harsh shadows kind of off-putting. But he's got a very distinct style. He's very animated, and that's kind of what this whole scene of Brooke chopping up Zeus and Big Mom reacting to the lightning bolt that Nami's putting together. So big zap.
This was pretty cool. This is really cool looking.
The crew has worked together. They've zapped Big Mom. They've fended off her attacks. Then we come back to the mirror world, and now Katakuri's finger gun has evolved into like a giant Gatling gun. He's got like a Gatling gun on his arm made of mochi, but it's covered in hockey, so it just looks like a machine. And he's shooting at Luffy. And then he transitions into the 9-headed mochi, just like creating all those teleporting donut holes that he can punch with. And Luffy's final words are, my future is mine to decide, saying that Katakuri's observation haki is not going to decide his fate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this fight's
general thoughts on the episode.
Yes, this fight's starting to go places, but Big Mom is the star of this episode, both in acting and the way she's drawn. I loved the way she shriek or the way she agonizes in pain when she gets shocked. That looks awesome. Her getting hit by Jinbei's water thing, that was also great. But yeah, it's you can't complain about the pacing in One Piece every week, but it's the same problem. It's not going away.
Yeah, it's not necessarily any one person's fault that the One Piece anime has to be spaced out the way that it is, but it's still bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are things to enjoy, and that's why I keep watching it every week. But
things to enjoy. I don't think I quite got what I wanted out of this episode. I wanted more. This whole sequence is something that you kind of have to do very fast, because you need that kind of chance to be oh, the Straw Hats are in danger, and oh, surprise, they're on top of it, even if it's just by the seat of their pants or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the play of emotions isn't coming across clearly enough for me, and that's kind of how I felt about the past few episodes in general, where it's there's this kind of distance. There's kind of this emotional distance to everything that's happening. And it's just it's not hitting that button for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, ready to move on to the next segment, or do you have anything else you want to?
No, that's it. Yeah, looking forward to next week.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Take that frog off your head and get ready for some Piece Together, where we take your questions, comments, and theories. Let's start out with Ed.
Dispiece.
Sam, take us through Dispiece on Discord, Patreon subscribers.
We've got our fancy new Dispiece channel just for these occasions. Our first Dispiece is from Morgil. I have very mixed feelings about this upcoming change to Jump. On one hand, I can see the individual chapters being useful for people who only read 1 or 2 series each week, but for people like myself who read almost every series, having them bundled together in one single download has been super convenient. I can just very easily see myself trying to download all the series I read individually, accidentally missing one, falling behind, and eventually just giving up on the series I read on the series. Additionally, there's stuff like the magazine covers, interviews, and author comments, among other things that I just don't want to see go. I wish we could just get both options, individual chapters for those who only read 1 or 2 series, and the whole magazine for those like myself who just want to read everything in one go. This is really going to take some getting used to, and I really am going to miss some. I'm going to miss some of the full magazines. But hopefully things will get ironed out in the future, and this change will ultimately end up for the best. All I can do now is hope for the future of Jump. Boy, that sounded corny, didn't it? No, it sounded okay.
For the record,
yeah,
with that, yeah.
The guys from Viz actually addressed almost all of those points earlier, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also gonna, just to do personal thoughts, I'm also gonna miss the magazine. I really think they've done a very good job with the digital, making the digital magazine feel like a magazine.
It's a curated experience.
Yeah. And there's definitely pros to that. I mean, it's like the difference between like a television channel versus Netflix, where you get to choose the thing, versus like a Toonami where someone else is choosing the shows for you to watch. They both have pros and cons, but they're both doing well in their own way. So I guess we're gonna see the Netflix model of manga. Yeah.
And to reiterate what they said, it sounds like they're going to have maybe like a blog section that is going to have all of the the author comments and other like sort of side content that they put together separately from the chapters this time. So and I guess we'll see if that really includes everything that was in the issues, but it sounds like they at least are thinking about that.
And I'll say right now, if a lot of new questions come up from the interview, maybe we'll have them back again, the crew back again early 2019, and we may already have a lot of details and kind of see where things are. And then we could complain more about the magazine disappearing if we're still annoyed about that. What's next, Sam?
Our final disc piece this week is from Grim Pyro. So with this chapter and things being played out in acts, things feel even more play-like. Would it be a weird theory to think that someone in Wano, or maybe even Orochi himself, has some type of theatrical-based devil fruit? Even Orochi's introduction seems like Bunraku, which I'm not familiar with what that is.
Oh, that's like the puppetry.
Oh yeah, it does look like
Right,
that.
with just
shadow
the silhouette
puppetry. Yeah.
from the side.
Pudding had that kind of like actress, like film reel thing going for her. But that's different than a play.
Yeah.
Cambodia
maybe that was like his test run where he was like, hey, this is kind of fun. Like I'm gonna play up the kabuki angle for Wano.
A meta devil fruit, I guess the meta fruit, would be interesting. But
we haven't seen a puppetry fruit yet, have we?
You mean Doflamingo?
Doflamingo.
That's a straw. That was string. Like this is strictly.
He
puppetry.
literally controlled people.
Well, maybe we won't see that power, squandered. How about that?
Sugar, kind of, also turning people into toys. I mean,
like how we have an ice fruit and a snow fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like the lesser
two
version.
Different explosion fruits and two different weight fruits, and
that's Oda running out of ideas for you.
Yeah, I think so.
that's what that is. All right, that's it for Discord. So why don't we move on to emails? First one comes from Mosaic Monster, whose name I like. He has a theory here on Blackbeard's plan. I don't know why he's bringing up Blackbeard, guys. Did he come up or something? Anyway.
No.
Don't worry about it. No.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry. Don't even think about it.
Considering what happened to O'Hara, isn't it strange that the world government didn't immediately hunt down all former members of Roger's crew like Crocus after his execution? I think that Roger made a deal with the government where he gave up not just his life, but also the 4th road poneglyph in exchange for his crewmates' life. He promised that his crewmates would keep what they had learned to themselves, and should the government go back on the deal, the information would be leaked to the whole world. However, Roger secretly gave a rubbing of the poneglyph to Shanks, so that he could one day gift it to the person who would bring the dawn of the world. This continues the theory. It's detailed.
There's no evidence.
I don't
for any
think the
of
Marines
this.
are that good at catching people.
Well, yeah, that's it.
I do
Also,
like
they didn't even catch Roger, really.
I do like the idea of the Marines having the 4th poneglyph. I think we mentioned this back when the road poneglyph idea came out. Like, what if the government has the 4th one? I like that theory.
I like the 4th one being on the moon.
I also like that theory. You know how I feel about the moon. Oh, by the way, story from my vacation. I got chased by an elephant named Kamoon.
What?
Coincidence? No.
You got what by an elephant?
Chased by an elephant.
Oh, I thought you said faced. I'm like, what does that
That
mean?
sounds way worse. Next question.
I was gonna say all those characters, they're like living small. Like Clover is literally, or not Clover. Crocus is literally like living inside of a whale. You know, they're not making big splashes. They're all on the DL. So
except for Rayleigh, and he's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't want to take him on. They said explicitly.
Right.
And also he's not like causing any particular trouble. Rayleigh, he's kind of just being an old gambling man. He's being an old. He's moving to Florida.
Yeah, like he allows himself to get sold into slavery. Obviously, he could break it out whenever he wanted to, but he just goes along with it.
Yeah, he's living life for the present moment and not for anything else. Martin says, does anyone have theories on how some devil fruit powers will be used in the future? For example, Pudding's fruit being used to allow a mink to go Sulong without the aid of the moon, or Shiryu using his to make a large vessel invisible. Since when does Shiryu have the invisibility?
No, like having expectations is the first step on the road to disappointment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, Zach, at this point, you're gonna have to just The jig is up. We know you've read the chapters.
Okay, I did. Yeah, that happened. I was able to access the stuff on Viz from Vietnam, which is interesting. Like I was able to download the chapters. So
same with me in Greece. Actually,
even their internet is.
Even with my shitty internet, yes.
Even the Vietnamese internet is a bootleg market.
Oh my god!
Get whatever you want.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. You're thinking that might be more Hong Kong.
Sure.
Yeah, Mira is sending an email from cold and snowy Sweden, and
nice.
I believe I don't want to assign a gender. She, I'm gonna just say, has a question for us. Who's everyone's non-Straw Hat? Who's favorite non-Straw Hat character? This person says Law or possibly Jinbei, depending on if you consider him part of the crew. So, who is your favorite non-Straw Hat character? I think we've answered this several times, but I think it's been a little while. Steven, I'm gonna put you on the spot first.
My favorite is Blackbeard. No reason. No reason, Zach. Don't even trip, dog.
Caleb.
Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna go out on a really weird limb and say Iceberg from Water 7. He was just
he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's great. But not Tyrannosaurus, the mouse that he has from.
Yeah, runner-up is Tyrannosaurus.
Okay, good. I was hoping. Sam.
Now this is gonna surprise you guys, but I'm a big fan of Luffy. Wait. That's not the question, was it?
No, non-Straw Hat. Unless Luffy quit and I hadn't heard.
I don't know.
Did I miss that much?
Is Carrot still off the table for Straw Hat? Dumb?
Okay,
yes.
Carrot. I mean,
that's a fine answer for this question.
Carrot works. She's not technically a Straw Hat. And the guy who asked it said Law, and I think he's in the same boat as Carrot and whatever that nebulous region is. Alex.
Django.
Big surprise.
Surprising absolutely no one.
I'm wondering if and when that will ever change for you.
I mean, like, I have runners up.
Who's your runner up? Yeah, that's
my runner up. Yeah, that's pretty. That's a tough one. Probably Crocodile though.
That's a good choice. I like Crocodile a lot.
Yeah,
and he grows on me more and more. I mean, I always was a big fan, but.
Yeah.
Next question.
Come on, man.
Oh, Ed. Sorry, God.
I've been thinking about it lately. Actually, I've been really enjoying Buggy.
You and Casey,
Buggy's
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Buggy's.
Well, I think Casey's number one is probably Mr. Two. Oddly enough.
Yeah.
He is the number one.
Caesar's a good choice too. He's
probably that's what we're trying to make happen.
Yeah, he's my favorite douchebag, definitely by a long shot. Yeah. Okay. This is a great question. The title last week was great, especially with Steve's wizard bit at the end. What is everyone's favorite podcast title? For Josh here, one of his favorites are Robin Got the Bats from the ending rankings episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wish you would do an episode title ranking for the past year. We do that at the end of the year, actually, which it almost is. So you won't have to wait too long for that. Is there, without even looking, I guess that's how a title sticks in your head. What would your favorite in recent memory or even non-recent memory be? If I guess for anyone who wants to answer that.
Tic-tac-toe chin for sure.
That picture was great. Maddie's been doing like a good job with taking us in new directions with the titles, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Well, me. Goop Troop Bloop Blorp.
Yep, me too.
That ranks pretty high for me.
That one's up. Didn't we do a sequel for that? And I can't remember what it was now. Yeah. Of the ones when I was
like most sequels, it was not as successful.
No, it was not as successful. Unlike Hippopotamus and the Chamber of Slaughter, which of the ones when I was gone, definitely my favorite. I love that title so much.
You made your own series of titles.
Oh, yeah. You? Let me pull those up right now. I used the ones that you guys made as well, and built off of that. So we got, and these are each based off, obviously, of the Hippopotamus Harry Potter series. So there's
Who's Harry Potter?
I have no idea. Hippo Potter and the Excavation Stone. These all had to do with last week's chapter. Hippo Potter and the Chamber of Slaughter. Hippo Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That one is Stevens. Hippo Potter and the Goblet of Hio, which I believe was Alex's. Hippo Potter and the Order of the Dragon. Hippo Potter and the Half-Armed Kid. And Hippo Potter and the Death Penalty.
I do like Half-Armed.
That was the only one I was really happy with. I thought the Death Penalty was a nice, just like, and that's what happens at the end. They get killed. Anyway, we could move on to Reddit.
Sure. I'll just pick out a couple here to keep this segment short. So we'll start with Ulairi23. There's a question about height in Wano. I know many One Piece characters are insanely tall for no purpose other than aesthetic. Yet with the new chapter, Wano's idol appears to be freakishly tall. Those around the Kozuki clan all appear to be tall. Also, any connection here? I mean, I guess is there any reason deeper than just that Oda is like, well, I'm gonna design a bunch of mob scenes, and so I want my principal characters to stand out above the crowd, or is that pretty much it? I'm not sure.
I mean, there is the idea of taller is just more powerful, but
that is true.
I would say it's just aesthetic, but he's been hinting at like a lot of lore stuff with that. Like with
giants
and
such.
Yeah, with everything with Big Mom and gigantism and Caesar's experiments and everyone like remarking that, oh, you're tall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It feels like too much of a coincidence that the two very prominent women already in this arc are very tall. Like for men, it's less sort of notable or impressive because it happens all the time in One Piece. But I don't know. I think there might be a connection.
There are more tall women than there used to be.
Yeah, between Okiku and Komurasaki.
That would be a thing if it was like, oh, well, the noble family, like the royalty are all really tall, and that's how you find out that she's actually, Momonosuke's sister, because she's grown up to be Komurasaki and is super tall. Let's see. Goes mostly says, I've got to say I've been listening to you for years now, and you are as much a part of my weekly routine as the chapters are. I left you a drunk voicemail some weeks ago. Is there any other kind? Okay, so the actual question is, this has been on my mind for most of the arc. What do you think the likelihood is that Oda is trolling us with Orochi's design? Not that Orochi will be a gag character entirely, but Oda has a reputation for taking well-established legends and completely making them his own weird creation. Something about that shadowy eight-headed figure made me feel this more strongly. So yeah, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but I guess what is the general pulse? I know a couple of people said that they thought he was going to be comedic. I actually did not think he was going to be comedic at first. But,
I was thinking about the sort of dynamic between him and Kaido, and I was wondering, like, is it going to be like a serious dynamic between him and Kaido? Because I'm not sure if it is. Like, if he's like serious, like, why isn't he fighting against Kaido? Or he would sort of be. I like this idea of him being a sort of a goofy. He's enjoying all the stuff that he can get by being Kaido's shogun. Basically, he's enjoying all of this, and he's just sort of rolling with it and enjoying the party.
We always hear him being referred to as that fool Orochi.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of respect from.
But he also has to be pretty damn evil. Like it's like a Wapple almost, because Wapple is ridiculous, but he's also insanely evil.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like I almost imagine he's like a Spandam, but like with a lot more muscle than Spandam knows what to do with.
I could see a cross between Wapple and Spandam and something else.
whatever it is, they've been working together for 20 years now, so or at least so. You'd have to figure that it's a pretty stable arrangement that they have.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a goof, but I think he's going to have like a real, like, serious, threatening devil fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be. I would like to see. I mean, I know that. Yeah, obviously, if it is wacky, that would be that would be amazing. But I'm also kind of like, I really just want to see like after having seen Kaido as a huge dragon, I would love to see an 8-headed dragon now being super menacing as well. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I want it to be silly, but it's probably something like the Sala Sala fruit model Hydra, or maybe the snake fruit model mythical Yamata no Orochi.
Well, if there are multiple models of dragon fruits, like what would we call Kaido's?
Well, no, that's the thing though, right?
Shenlong model.
Well, I was thinking about this, yeah, because we were first introduced with the Sala Sala fruits with the model Axolotl with Smiley.
Mm.
And I feel like that was sort of a prelude to the rest of these fruits that have dragons based off of them. Like his could be the Shenlong model, or Orochi's could be the Yamata no Orochi model, or something like that. And maybe Drake's fruit is also under there too. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of information yet to be revealed. So Nick 2473 GOT says, I have a Blackbeard related question. A couple weeks ago, we saw him telling Moria that Luffy has been causing a stir in Wano, but how on earth does he know this? Luffy just arrived. Wano is a closed country, and Luffy's presence is not public knowledge. The people of Wano do not know who he really is. Only Kaido's crew are aware. Does Blackbeard have a spy in Kaido's ranks? I can't imagine Oda making a mistake like this.
I said on the show that week that I thought that meant that Blackbeard was going to be Kaido's new business partner, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think
it.
Because he was, just in that chapter, it's easy for that to be fresh in your mind. But I don't know.
I mean, he could have intercepted that call between Big Mom and Kaido.
Those, what they call them, black transponder snails,
right?
Intercepts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine he's got ears everywhere. So
I think both. I think there are a lot of explanations that make sense to me, like intercepting the call, or he has a spy, or is going to be a business partner, or we don't know what Blackbeard's truly up to, and what do the other emperors even think of Blackbeard? Like Big Mom and Kaido, they've got opinions about each other, but
yeah.
We know how Shanks feels about Blackbeard.
Yeah, Blackbeard's just the new guy, aside from Shanks.
I wonder. Yeah. I don't know.
Go ahead. Luffy's the newest guy. All right, Spademan 52. So I brought this up. I want to read this question. I've been rereading the series again, and I discovered something I thought you should know. This concerns the cover story in chapter 658, which is in volume 67. Which, hey, if you subscribe to Shonen Jump, you can just look that right up in one go, which is Perona wandering around Thriller Bark and finding Kumasi. I found this to be interesting because a couple chapters ago, we saw Thriller Bark in the New World with Moria and his crew. However, are we sure that is the same Thriller Bark? I ask that because wouldn't Perona have come across Moria when she came to get back Kumasi? Wouldn't it be more reasonable to think that a new Thriller Bark was constructed, given how the original is a giant ship the size of an island and on the first half of the Grand Line? So there you go. There's a possible explanation for what we saw. I don't know how likely it is, but I was wondering like what, because it didn't seem to line up scale wise. That's all I thought.
I want to here's a little bit of a debunk. I would think on my end, that Kumasi that she has is not the original Kumasi. It's way smaller.
No, didn't she? She got Kuma C back. You're thinking of Kuma D, or B, or whatever the other letter. Yeah,
damn it.
Kuma A was the first
Kuma A.
one,
I'm sorry. Yeah, but so you're right. She does get a smaller one, but then she does get Kuma C back in a cover story. I'm pretty sure that is correct.
No.
Yeah, I think. Well, I have to go find chapters. Yeah, I have to go find chapter 658, which would be great if I had the new Shonen Jump app, which is not yet available. But maybe next week you could ask us this question again, and I could look. Because otherwise I got to...
Wait, what volume was it in?
67? I don't know if you have that readily available.
Okay. Yeah, I have the digital library.
I do too, but I'm just too lazy to go through it.
Okay.
All right, I got the cover here, and it's
658.
Decks of the World, Volume 40. Wandering through our park, I found Kumashi,
There you go.
and it's all destroyed. So it is the one that Luffy was on previously. Not to say that is the same one, as we saw a couple chapters.
You see,
ago.
I know what happened. Moria is like, "What the hell is this?" And he throws it off this end of his ship, and then some other guy picks it up, and it ends up somewhere. It's just like Bobo
frozen in a block of ice.
Exactly. It's just like that.
Yes.
Bobo.
God, you gotta find an easier way to get this ice.
Oh, you got a head ice. Is that what he called it?
You got the head bag.
Head bag, yeah.
That's extra. Go ahead.
Full of heady goodness.
Full of heady goodness. Yeah, there you go.
All right, last one. Okay, so we already answered this question. I just want to read this because of the way it's phrased. Gladius Wing Zero says, "It's time for the important question. Will Shogun Orochi look cool or dumb, or cool and dumb? I'm hoping overwhelmingly dumb." So there you go. We have another vote for dumb from the audience.
Yeah, I think most of us are hoping dumb. There's something that makes really bad people a little easier to digest when they're stupid as shit.
You've already got one serious villain in this arc.
Yeah, Kaido is very, very straight-laced. So anyway, that's it for Reddit.
Yes, let's move on.
And it's time for
Peace the Tweet.
Go ahead, Ed.
All right. First one comes from Operation Druid, who says, "There's been a lot of random kids popping up throughout this arc. Just wondering, if you were a parent, which One Piece character would you use as a guide to parent your own child?"
Wow.
I would pick Dragon, showing up only when my son is head face down on the ground.
There are so many awful parents. Who are the good parents in One Piece? That's what the question is, I guess, right? Belmer's good.
Belmer.
Dodon is pretty good. Not the best. Her heart's in the right place. Her parenting style is not. Wasn't there someone recently who was a really good parent? I'm trying to think of.
Oh, I mean, King Riku tried to be.
Yeah.
Capone.
No, King
Yeah,
Riku is a
Capone,
good.
yeah, Capone's the good one.
Capone's the good one. King Riku is a good grandparent. We know nothing of
So
his
is Garp.
parenting skills. No, Garp is an awful grandparent. We just make jokes about that. Garp is the worst and would definitely be in jail if he were in our world. Without a doubt.
Hey, Makino's doing a pretty good job. She's got a very small child.
We know nothing. We know nothing about her parenting style. We just know that she has a living baby. That's it.
Well, that's a pretty good start, Zach.
How'd she get that baby?
Oh well, that's a different story.
Well, where do babies come from? No, tell me. I need to know.
All right, let's tell Alex about the stork fruit.
Wouldn't it be the bird fruit bottle stork?
Yeah, to be fair, Alex is correct. Are there any other good parents in One Piece? Big Mom's awful. Big Mom's awful.
Here, Luke. Tom.
Tom is pretty good. Yeah.
No, but Frankie's real parents are awful.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, most of the good parents are adoptive parents anyway. Yeah. There aren't very many biological.
Sora's a good mom.
Do we know that? I mean,
she loves Sanji.
Yeah, she really did.
Yeah.
She ate
really
his
say anything
nasty
about the
food.
Yeah, I mean, from what we know, I should say, from the limited that knowledge that we have. You know who isn't a good parent? Senor Pink.
Judge.
Very, very bad.
Yeah, Judge is bad.
Yeah,
There's a lot of awful, awful parents. Kyros is actually a good dad. Yeah, that's an example of a good dad. I mean, we're gonna do the Dressrosa Part 2. I think that'll be released in the next few weeks. Yeah, this month. And I've grown to appreciate Kyros. I think I hated him because he took over Rebecca's story. So
it wasn't her story.
It wasn't her story.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
Kyros is great, actually. Believe it or not.
All right, you want me to move on?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. Next one comes from Connor Ritter, who says, "Do you think Otoko possesses the smile fruit, and it may be a smile fruit, making the smile fruit that causes others and herself to smile?"
Please move on.
That's a good question right there. All right, a comment from our friend Sai, who says, nearly 10 years ago, I think she means the simulcast almost shut down.
That was right before we started.
Oh, man, I remember that.
Yeah. Fan subs still dominating and scan leaders on the rise. Now we've got more simul dubs than ever, simul pubs, manga chapters out the same day as Japan, and it's free to read them. Progress is amazing.
Yeah, a decade's a while, so a lot happens in a decade. I mean,
yeah.
If you told us this is what things would look like when we started the podcast, we'd be like, awesome, we did it, obviously, right? No, but it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's we're coming up on, it's a little less than 6 months to the 10th anniversary of the simulcast.
Yep, and we're planning
the initial simulcast.
And our initial episode.
That's right. Next one comes from Ghost Starch, who says, what if the mystery person making the deal that King was talking about is Kuzan? When Smoker asked him at Punk Hazard whether he was involved in the underworld, he didn't say no. It's Act 2 of Wano. We still need a pheasant to complete the tale.
Yeah, I think we brought up Aokiji, didn't we?
But we brought up Blackbeard, and he's working with him.
Yeah.
But we don't know to what capacity, though.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that pheasant role is super interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, show.
Like if Aokiji showed up, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it would.
What's
all right? Just a couple more questions here. One from QuipQuest, who says, does anyone else find it weird that the Celestial Dragons, a bunch of slavers, and are the villains, and yet Bello Betty and Otama also have powers that enslave and brainwash people against their will? Double standard much?
Yeah, but it's not a double standard if you're using it for good.
It's good slavery.
Let's see.
I feel like that person is the guy sitting at the desk with the coffee mug, and it says, Bella Betty is a mind enslaver. Prove me wrong.
Yes.
All right. And finally, Nick Fridge says, I don't know about you guys, but Otoko gives me bad vibes. Seems weird for a random civilian to get an Otobox like that. I'm guessing she has a joke devil fruit or something. Her joke wasn't that funny.
She's going to be sad. That's what's going to happen.
That's the joke.
And that's going to do it on that joke.
It's so weird that we use sad to make smile, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Why have I must have put that together. I think I broke Steven.
Yeah.
That's going to do it. Why don't we round off?
All right. Okay.
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 549, a very special episode for December 10th, 2018. Great to be back, guys, in America, doing this podcast with cheese readily available. So before we go, want to remind people, One Piece and Shonen Jump will be free and available to all who currently could access Shonen Jump. Again, free for 3 chapters. That begins on Friday, November 21st.
December 21st.
December 21st. It happened already, and you all missed it. The month of November is kind of a blur for me. December 21st. So again, Friday, December 21st is when that comes out.
We should point out too that this is when you say 3 chapters for free, that does not mean starting for 3 weeks from that period on. It is always the last 3 chapters.
Yes, yeah,
available.
Yeah, for One Piece and many other series. Let's round off though. Caleb, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter at @CDCubed. I'm very loud on there, so follow me.
We will. Sam.
They can find me on Twitter at Lucky Chainsaw. They can find me on the One Piece Podcast every week doing the anime recaps. And they can find me on AnimeNewsNetwork.com doing the daily streaming reviews for One Piece, Black Clover, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind.
Thank you, Sam. Steven, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Translatosaurus.
Alex, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at Dude! And also listen to Toho Yaro, a Japanese movie club podcast. our episode on the funeral is supposed to come out sometime this week, so keep your eyes peeled.
And Steve Yurko, where could people find you?
You could follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. If you're not totally convinced not to go on Tumblr anymore, Steve Yurko is the username, all one word. Check out some of my other podcasts I'm doing while I'm not on this show. One is The Deep End. You can find that on Twitter, Adult Swim Pod, and also listen to Toon Sweet. I think that's at Toon Sweet on Twitter.
How's Toon spelled? Quick.
Tune.
There you go.
It's a podcast where I don't talk about a cartoon, so go figure.
And Ed.
I'm at Edward E. One Piece on Twitter, and I'm also available at Weeb Trailers. I've been posting a lot of interesting Funimation trailers recently. I just today I posted a ad for the Funimation Z Store. It's not as good as the DragonBallZ.com ad, but it's a sequel.
You could also round off.
You're Zach _ Logan on Twitter. You haven't been here in a month.
Yeah. Right. Where can you find us, Ed?
Right. The podcast is at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/OnePiecePodcast. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. OnePiecePodcast is our Skype name. Please support us, Patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. r/OnePiecePodcast, that's our subreddit. You can leave us some piece together there. You can subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe on Google Play, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. Or call us on our phone number,
That
Zach.
phone number is 347-497-MAGI. That phone number again is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Do it.
With your questions, comments, theories, and ways that you could get us for free, which is pretty easy since we are free.
Yeah, but if you want other people to get us for free, be sure to review, like really, really review.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yes. Alex is
Sorry,
definitely
my mind
correct.
also went to a very dirty place. I thought Zach was like, hey, we're all for free.
That's weird, Steve. So, Steve, since you joined us just in time, we're going to have probably one of our hardest quizzes to date.
Goodbye.
And I say that because it's not technically One Piece related, but it's a pretty short quiz, so that's good. So we are celebrating Shonen Jump's latest transformation. So please name all the series currently running in Japanese Shonen Jump.
Oh,
dear.
Wow.
Now, when I say running, I mean ongoing. Not even
This
just
isn't fair
running.
because Caleb is translating like 6 of them.
Yep. It is not fair. You are correct. But Japanese...
This is also not fair
American.
because I'm reading like none of them.
Yep. I would not be able to get more than like 4 of these. So this does not include One Piece because that one's obvious. So we're going to go in this order. Caleb, Alex, Sam, Stephen, Ed, and Steve. You get... and if we come to like a tie or something, you can name the years. We'll figure that out. So ready to go, Caleb.
Wait, really? Oh my god. I have no idea. Okay.
Are you kidding? You translate like half of these.
Okay.
5, 4, 3,
No.
2, 1. He's out.
Shut up.
One Piece, Boku no Hero Academia.
No, you just name one.
No,
Just name
just
one.
one.
All you have to do is one.
Oh, just one. I thought you wanted all like 20. Oh,
No, you
geez.
got
Okay,
one. You got
Go
one.
in order.
I picked Dr.
First, does
Stone.
that mean he's disqualified?
Yeah, we go. So the way it works, I should have explained. We go one
Sorry,
by
yeah.
one. If you can't name one in the category, you get kicked out. If you name the same one, you get kicked out. Yeah, those are the times you get kicked out. If you
Okay,
can't,
sorry.
or if you name
Could
the
we
wrong one.
restart the segment so I don't
No,
look like an idiot?
you already got it. My Hero Academia. That counts.
You're already an idiot. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All love. Nothing but love.
Yeah, Alex.
Wait, so which one did Caleb say? Because
My
said, like,
Hero
3.
Academia. He said that's the only one I heard besides One Piece.
Okay, good. Can I say One Piece?
No, I said you can't at the beginning.
Oh, I didn't
Oh.
listen to you.
No, it's okay.
Dr. Stone.
Yes, Medicine Woman. Sam.
Haikyuu.
Yes. Steven.
Boruto.
Yeah, you took that one. Ed.
My Hero Macadamia Vigilantes.
No, that is not currently running in
It isn't?
Weekly
Oh,
Shonen
alright.
Jump. As far as I
In
saw,
Jump Plus.
yeah.
Oh,
This
in
is-
Japanese. Yeah,
I should
that's,
say this is according to Wikipedia. Yeah. Steve.
I don't mind going out there.
What's this?
There's a ton, and you know.
Fallen Promised Land, Neverland.
Do you want to try that again? Give you a shot here to say the title.
Yeah, some of those words were right. Some of those
words were correct. Now put the correct ones in.
There's two of them.
Yeah, there's 2 words. Now say 2 of them.
You've already said both of them.
I'm going to cut you out if you don't say 2 words.
Wait,
you get the for free.
The promised.
And what's the third word?
Okay. Wait.
The
promised.
Is
the third word?
No. Jesus Christ. Just say it.
Promised Neverland?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't wait to get to the second round.
Caleb.
Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs.
Wow, that was a dark horse there. Alex.
Viz does not.
Yeah.
Shokugeki no Soma or Food Wars, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'll take Food Wars. That's fine. Sam.
We never learn.
No, we don't. Steven.
Okay. Let's see here. Hinomaru Zumo.
God, you guys are good. Steve. There's
Black
a big one. Oh, there's a few big ones.
Can I just say Black Clover?
You did. You're good. Caleb.
Teenage Renaissance David.
Yep.
Oh man, shit.
Alex.
Chainsaw Man.
Yep. We did mention that a few times at the top. Sam.
Does Hunter x Hunter count?
Yes, it does. It's ongoing. Steven.
World Trigger.
So that's on hiatus. It did not.
No, it came back, but then isn't it going to move?
It's in Jump
magazine?
SQ now. It's in Jump Square.
But has it published a chapter yet?
Yeah.
Oh, it has.
Yeah, sorry, Steven.
Last week.
It wasn't in Wikipedia either, so I gotta let you go there, Steve.
Darn.
We're up to the hard shit here, so.
Bo.
No, I'm sorry, that is not one. Caleb.
The other stupid jumpstart. I'm from Japan.
Yeah. Chimoto God Japan, I'm guessing is what that is. Alex.
This is the Japanese jump, correct?
Japanese jump.
Which
will now be simultaneous with.
Rurouni Kenshin?
No, I don't think that's in weekly. I think that's in the monthly. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Alex. Sam? You need to...
Age?
Okay, I was going to say you need to say one to stay in. Caleb, you need to say one to stay in.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Sam?
Is it called Kimetsu no Yaiba?
Mm-hmm. Demon Slayer.
Oh, Demon Slayer. Yep. I got that.
Yep.
Caleb, there's only 2 left.
Did we say Haikyuu already?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So, Sam, to stay in, you need to get 1.
Oh, man. I think I'm tapped out.
There's only 2. So,
Blue Exorcist isn't Jump, is it?
No. You could say 1, though. That you seem to know that it wasn't.
No.
Or is that your guess?
I don't know anything else.
Okay, the last 2, and I have a tiebreaker. The last 2 are Neolation and Gokutai Higuma. I don't know if either of you guys know those. Those are both.
I told you Higuma the bear would come back.
Okay. So this is what we'll do. 2 of these series premiered in the year 2012. Besides Hunter x Hunter, they are the oldest to still, and One Piece, they're the oldest to still be running. Can you name one of those 2, Caleb?
Are they ones that have been said already?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, 2012. Is it Haikyuu?
Yes. Sam, can you name the other?
A 2012 that's still running.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
It's like a multiple choice. You could just guess.
Is it Food Wars?
It is. So now, double guess here. 2014, there were 2 series. This one's harder. Can you name one of those 2 series?
That are still running.
That are still running. It premiered in 2014 in Weekly Shonen Jump Japan.
I have no idea. How about Hinamaru Zumo?
Wow. Yeah. Yes, that is one of them. Sam, can you name the other?
Is the other one My Hero Academia?
Yes, it is.
Wait, how did I not get that?
Okay, there are 2 series that premiered in 2017. Caleb, can you name one?
Dr. Stone.
Yeah. Sam, can you name the other?
We Never Learned?
Yeah. There are 4 series that premiered in 2016. Can you name one? Caleb.
2016.
Yeah. Just have to name one of the 4.
Is it Kimetsu no Yaiba? Demon Slayer?
That's one of them, Sam.
Is the other one Promised Neverland?
That is one of them. There are 2 more. Caleb. You guys are good. I'm just going to say that right now.
Black Clover.
No.
No.
Sam, if you get this, you win.
I have no idea.
All you have to say is one of 2 series that premiered
Sam,
in 2016.
this is for Caleb's job.
You get Caleb's job if you win
All of
this.
them.
All of them.
I'll be the
You
My
could,
Hero
it's multiple
Academia
choice, so you could just guess.
I really can't guess.
Just
honestly.
say any currently
Yu-Gi-Oh!
running-
Zexal.
No, that is not one of the ones that we said. Just
Come
name
on, man.
anything. Come on.
Oh, it's
Sam.
one of the ones we said?
Yeah, we've said all of them. So
Yeah, we've said all of them at this point.
yeah. So Sam, gonna give you 3 seconds here.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, I really.
It's a
That doesn't
donkey.
help.
No.
Oh, it's a donkey.
Alex, do you want to try and guess the 2?
Boruto
Yeah, that's one.
Oh,
and
that one just blanks out in my memory.
yeah, Boruto and
I know.
you said 2016, right?
No,
Promised Neverland?
No, you
No,
said that.
that
already.
was you said that one, yeah. I don't know. I just knew that one of them was Boruto.
It's it's the Yuna and the Hot
Yep,
Springs
yep,
series.
yep.
Oh.
So we have a legit
No,
tie.
so okay, I will give you one last question, and it's going to be the hardest question I could possibly do here, since you guys are just so damn good at this game. Okay, ready? Please name the issue number One Piece premiered in 1997. Whoever
Closest
gets
without going over wins.
closest without going over, exactly. Price is Right rules. Caleb.
Issue number as in like out of the whatever 50
And you
or
could,
52
and
of the
Sam,
year?
you could say the same one as Caleb if you think it is correct. Caleb, go ahead. I'm saying that before he says it.
Let's say 26.
Okay, Sam.
41.
Closest without
Without
going
going over,
over
Sam.
goes to Caleb. The answer is 34. Congratulations,
Later than I
Caleb.
thought.
Just squeaked that one out. What a game. That turned into
That
a
was
real
fun.
You guys know your Shonen Jump, I will just say. It's like you should be on a podcast. So thank you guys so much for coming on to this week's show. Next week, I think we will be off, which hasn't happened in a while. But there's
It also means we might be recording the read-through episode.
that is what is going to be happening. So if you are a Patreon
good.
subscriber, it will not be off. You will get to listen to the second part of the Dressrosa read through. If you are not a Patreon subscriber, you will have nothing to listen to except for this extremely long podcast right now, which I guess you've finished at this point. So please enjoy that. But
Ka-chow.
until 2 weeks from now, when we will return with our hopefully regularly scheduled episode at a weird scheduled time. My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
くれる風を探しに行こう冒険の旅誰かと出会うために立ち止まらないさほら前に大切な君が待ってる
Jeff didn't make it. Your dumb face.